here. It looks like no problem there. I think we're live on YouTube. Are we live on YouTube? Let's see how we're doing over here. And see if we're set up. Stream key. Looks like we're good. Okay, perfect. We are live on YouTube. Lovely. Now let's hop on back over. And Wash, I'm going to use the Dynasty decoder, so it should be pretty cool. All right, guys, very cool. If you haven't heard already, we have a new tool that we've been working on the website. It actually was made by MJ Walsh, your favorite moderator ever. He is our tech wizard behind the scenes here at Dynasty Price Check. He has basically turned DynastyPriceCheck.com into Dynasty Daddy. We have a ton more incredible features coming in, and this allows me to pull up your teams directly, just simply by typing in your sleeper username. Don't ask me how it works. This guy is a genius, and he sorted it all out. What we're going to do is I'm going to call you guys up on stage one by one here. You have the chance to talk with me back and forth. I would love to ask you some questions, obviously, about your league and your scoring settings and, guys that maybe don't want to trade with you. And I can hopefully generate as many good offers as I can. And along with that, we'll go ahead and get everything rolling. And I think it was McSnooch who was our first guy up. So let's go ahead and just rip straight off that. And give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull this aside and make sure that didn't mess up my stream. It did not. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting through the technical difficulties here. But McSnooch, I am going to go ahead and do this. I think... Open stage. Do I have to open the stage, Walsh, or what do I do? I think I invite you up on stage, right? No. McSnooch, ask me to come up on stage. Maybe I have to accept it. There you go. Invite to speak. Lovely. All right, my man. You should be up here. How are we doing today, bro? No, you're all good. I can hear you perfectly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here, let me unmute that. Okay. All right. You should be good. Yeah. Give me what's your Dynasty username here for Sleeper?
It should just be McSnooch.
McSnooch. All right. Let's check it out. This is a new tool.
A few leagues.
Yeah, let's see how quick. I pulled it all up perfectly. Wash, we love your tech genius brain. Keep in mind, guys, if you do actually want to watch like directly what I'm doing here as well, you can do that on the YouTube stream on my channel right now, and then you can like kind of see what I'm looking at with Wash's cool tools. But obviously, I've got your leagues pulled up. So yeah, which league do you want to dive into, man? It looks like you got plenty here.
Yeah, so Dynasty 101 is like my home money leagues. That's the one I kind of care about the most.
No, let's do it, man. Let's do it. And obviously, positive for you is, as you know, this is going to be an all off-season thing, so you can come back anytime you want, and we can dive through a couple more. So, all right, I see you here. You're the commissioners. Like to see it. Give me some context on the league. It looks like a 12-man. Do we got Superflex, PPR, tight end premiums? What's my scoring format like?
So it's honestly just a general PPR. It's no Superflex, 1 QB. We do run 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and 2 flex. Okay. This is basically a bunch of guys from we normally do redraft, and then we started doing this 3 years ago.
Okay, so we do have a super flex, no tight end premium, and then how many was the starting spots?
Not super flex.
Oh, not super flex. Sorry,
yeah, just you're good. 1 QB.
1 QB, yeah.
Yeah, so we start 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and 2 flex with a tight end, and we still play kicker and defense in this league.
Oh man, okay, that's that throws me for a loop, but it's all good. You got I see you got a 26 first here that isn't yours. Where is it placed? Is it
So that is the 101. I traded for the 101.
Okay, right on. And what was the state of the team? How'd you do last year? I'm looking at it. It looks pretty decent actually.
Yeah, well, so past 2 years, I've missed out just by 1 spot in the playoffs.
Okay. All right, just by one spot. All right, no worries. So we're kind of in the middle. That's good to know. But the running back room looks fantastic. Got Jahmyr Gibbs, Ashton Genty, and you got Jeremiah Love on the way if you so decide to take this pick. I like seeing Terry McLaurin and Devonta Smith on the bench here. You got some decent wide receiver depth. I mean, I'm gonna rip right out the gate here. I think you probably know the direction I'm looking, but the first thing that stands out to me on the roster, and I'm a big hater, not in real life, but just for fantasy football. I think Travis Hunter's playing IDP like defense. They're mostly this next season. They've been very vocal about that so far, and the news is starting to hit the waves here. So your league mates might have already caught on, but I would be shopping probably as quick as possible to try to go to. Like you said, if it's a high school league, maybe some of these guys take the offseason not as seriously. They've turned off their football notifications. I would ideally be looking to move Travis Hunter for what I can get at this point. Do you know, is there any market in your league for him? Like, has anyone come knocking on your door? Is there guys that potentially might be Jaguars fans?
No, not really. Honestly, like most trades that I get to go through are like I have to initiate this conversation.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, I've seen like other people will ask me like, "Yo, other people are sending other people trades. I just don't get a lot in my inbox."
For sure. Well, look, man, like I said, this one actually, you've done a good job setting up this team. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple for you because I think you probably know where your weak points are at. But personally for me, I mean, you're set at quarterback, right? Like you got Patrick Mahomes. I'm not worried about it. Cam Ward's ascending and Kyler Murray gives you some rushing upside. It's a 1 QB. I'm not stressing over the quarterback room here. I'm feeling really good about my running backs right now. Obviously you got Gibbs, Genty, and I would probably just take Jeremiah Love on this team personally.
Yeah,
I think you do it, right? You get a flex one of them. You look good. At the tight end position, I feel really damn good here too. I mean, Harold Fannin was obviously looking real good at the end of the season, and Brenton Strange is a guy that a lot of people have high hopes for, myself included. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars offense starting to come together under Cohen, so I'm not worried about that. The wide receiver position is where we got to focus all our attention, as I'm sure you know. Personally, for me, man, I think what's keeping you in the middle is like your love for young players. And maybe it's not you, right? It's just the way it's fallen. I mean, I like that you have Terry McLaurin here, but something that's become very apparent for me. And I know you guys have probably heard some of this from other creators as well, but a really interesting statistic that's coming out after the end of the season here is kind of the death of the wide receiver too, and I'm going to elaborate on it a little bit for everybody watching the stream, and then some of the folks in the chat too, as we're breaking down these teams. But this was the lowest scoring wide receiver season in the last 6 years of fantasy football. And additionally, on top of that, the point gap difference between wide receiver 17 and wide receiver 36 was a statistical skew. It was a matter of a guy's catching a touchdown or two, versus not. And so if we've got a 16-point swing between that big of a positional gap, I think holding wide receiver twos, like traditionally, like guys like Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, they don't really hold as much value as they used to. And the real thing that we learned this year is if you don't have a guy that's in the top 12, you're probably not winning, showing yourself, not winning the league, I should say. The rest of your team could be loaded, but you're really not setting yourself apart from a positional difference maker. And obviously you had a decent season at Isaiah Flowers here, finished wide receiver 7 shockingly, but in a points per game metrics, it wasn't the same, right? And so that's obviously going to impact your positioning. Two things I want to look at here. One, I am actively moving off Rashee Rice as fast as humanly possible. I just have no place on my roster for a guy that continues to get in this much legal trouble. And beyond that, like, he's going into the last year of his deal. I don't think the Chiefs are probably going to bring him back. He's really been a merchant of that, dump off Patrick Mahomes yards after catch system that works so well in Kansas City. I think if they don't bring him back, you're going to watch Rashee Rice's value tank because he's got to be a very specific mold to play the way that he's going to give you the most fantasy upside. So all to be said, like, this is a relatively shallow format too. I think our main focus here, man, is one, you got Terry McLaurin. I like it. I think he can keep you plenty afloat as your wide receiver 3. He probably is going to have a top 15 finish next year. The direction I'm looking is let's capitalize on the Luther Burden hype of this offseason. There is a ton of guys that are willing to pay crazy prices for Luther Burden. And quite frankly, if I'm looking to shop and really tear up here, I'm looking at this team and saying, what does Luther Burden and Rashee Rice in a package get me? Like, is there anybody that's holding a Jackson Smith and Jigba, any guys that are going to go in the first 2 rounds of your startup, right? A Jackson Smith and Jigba, a Puka Nacua, a Jamar Chase, a Malik Neighbors, an Amon-Ra St. Brown. St. Brown would be my dream, but CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, Justin Jefferson, give me the landscape. Like, are these guys untouchable? Is there guys that potentially might be entering more of a rebuild that would take a chance on some of these younger guys that you could sweeten? Do you know anything in your league on that front?
Yeah, the main guy I've been trying to go for is Justin Jefferson. I think I packaged like Rashee Rice, and I don't remember who the second player was. It wasn't Luther Burden because I just got him in the offseason. I think I traded like the 104 and Jalen Coker for like 2027 first and then Burden. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
wait, did you not have a 27 first beforehand? I only see one on here.
Yeah, so I actually already traded that away and got.
What'd you get?
Yeah, I got Terry McLaurin, I got Devonta Smith, and I got, I think a third next year maybe.
Yeah, a 27 third. Okay, I see it. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, I don't hate that trade for you. Okay, here's what I'd say. I mean, couple things here. One, yeah, if we can go get Justin Jefferson, that'd be great. Like you said, what you offered Rashee Rice plus, and it was a no-go.
Yeah, it was a no-go.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, quite frankly, man, if you want to hold on to Luther Burden, I don't hate it on this build. I think Zay Flowers, Rashee Rice, and Devonta Smith and Travis Hunter. Those are the guys that you can kind of play around with here. And Xavier Worthy, obviously, but I don't know how much weight he's going to hold in this league. But I think if the Justin Jefferson guy's a no-go, I can see he's the Drake London owner as well. Let's inquire about him. Outside of that, like I'm looking at Meatball Madness here. He's got Amon-Ra and Tet. And A.J. Brown. I mean, he's got a phenomenal wide receiving core. I don't know how much he wants to break up this team. I'm guessing he was probably either your winner or our top contender here, huh?
Yeah, he won. He won the first year, and then the last year I think he finished like third or fourth.
Yeah, okay. I mean, honestly,
but everybody seems pretty scared of Rashee Rice. Like every time I try to throw him in or like get talks out there for Rice, everybody's kind of like turned off by him, which understandable.
Okay, yeah, no, good to know then. All right, then he's probably off the table. Then I would honestly say, man, like the guy who owns JSN, H-Dub, he's probably not going to give him to you. I mean, you could really try, right? Like inquire with him, see what it would take. Quite frankly, like, if you're going to try to contend here, which I have no issue with, I don't have a problem moving that 27 first. I think you probably could recoup it to some degree in the future if you need to. The real thing is, yeah, let's inquire to H-Dub and Luhe or whatever, Luya on Puka as well. But if neither of those guys are a no-go, I kind of want to go the budget route and find who owns Devontae Adams in this league. I'm looking.
It should be GLP. I think that's his name. Yeah. Let me see. Nah, sorry. Yeah, Code Killers, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would be the direction I go. Like, see what it takes to get Devontae Adams off him. Because you have your, 27 picks. Like, you got an extra third. Like, does a 27 second and third get you Devontae Adams? Maybe, maybe not. Does Xavier Worthy plus two, those two 27 thirds get you Devontae Adams? I mean, this guy's team doesn't look really like a contender to me at all. I mean, I know he's got Trey McBride, but his running back room's pretty thin. And outside of that, his wide receivers aren't very strong either. He's got Adams, Waddle, and Reed. So you might be able to swing him on some sort of a rebuild. Maybe even get kind of creative here, right? Like see if Devonta Smith could get you Devontae Adams plus. and see if you could warrant something out of that. Like maybe even you get a kickback. Like I see he's got George Kittle down here is injured. Could Devonta Smith in those 2/3 get you Devontae Adams and George Kittle? And that might give you a flex option down the line, as well, just when George Kittle comes back. So I think that would probably be the first place I look, just because, yeah, you're going to have to kind of scrape together a veteran wide receiving core here. But there's nothing wrong with riding veterans to a win, especially since you do have some young guys waiting in the wings, right? And if you can bring in Adams here and you're going to roll Adams, McLaurin, and if Rashee Rice hits this year, great. If he doesn't, then Zay Flowers is a fine 3. Luther Burden, if he becomes what everybody expects him to become on the open market, he's a fine 3. I have no issue doing that. So I think that would probably be the first place I'd start. And then, like I said, your other moves are just to inquire on the big guys there and see what you can get done for a true wide receiving stud. I think your only other option with a team like this, and believe me, it's not my favorite, but realistically, man, like, you are holding the 3 best young running backs in Dynasty damn near outside of Bijan Robinson here. It's not a popular take, and I don't normally recommend it, but I know you just acquired that 101, but like, wide receiver is your weak point here. Like, if the 101 could get you Teteroa McMillan plus another running back, like a Kyron Williams type, it's not a terrible, thing to explore. Like, but I doubt it would happen, so.
Yeah, and as far as Rice goes, like I'm honestly just hoping that he doesn't get suspended this year and he actually plays and he starts to do well, and I can kind of offload him then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that maybe maybe AJ Brown leaves and Devonta Smith gets to be the number 1 there, but yeah, I'm not sure. So,
yeah. I mean, to be frank, man, we got Rick over on YouTube in the comments saying I think the only way to move Rashee now is to attach a piece like Burden, and I don't think he's wrong. I think exactly kind of what I was saying. It sounds funny, but we're kind of in the same mindset there. That if you are looking to probably offload him, you got to throw something pretty intriguing on that to get it done. But like you were saying, man, this is probably a wait and hold for you on that one. I'd love to give you a ton more feedback on this team, but quite frankly, I think just take it as a compliment. I don't have much. You've set yourself up well. You got a good quarterback room. You got the good tight ends set up. I'm not trying to shake up the entire operation you got here. We just got to address the wide receiver position, right? And so that's why I like those veteran guys that are probably going to give you production right at the gate here, but might be a little cheaper, like Devontae Adams type is probably where you have to go, just because there's not a lot of other choices for you, quite frankly, especially in a league like that where, like you said, you got to make all the trade inquiries. But yeah, I appreciate you coming by, man. I can obviously break down another one of your teams next week, and hopefully the offseason does you well.
All right, thanks, man. I got a hard rebuild that I'll get you to look at next time.
Please. Yeah, I'll always have a lot more to say on that one. But congrats on a good team here. I hope we get you out of the middle.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yep, take care.
You too. Bye.
All right, guys. Mikey or Walsh, but probably Mikey because it looks like Walshy went on and dipped here. What is the next guy in my queue? Is it Deadly Slider here, or what is the best way to go about it? Mikey, Deadly Slider, perfect. All right, Deadly Slider, why don't you request to come up on stage, man, and I'll go ahead and there we go. Awesome. People are ready today. I love it, man. What's good, my man? How are you? You got a name you want me to call you by besides Deadly Slider?
You can call me Lynn.
Lynn, what's up, man? How are you?
Lynn, what's good? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Good. All right, why don't you give me your sleeper username and let's dive right in.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banging YB.
Okay, spell it for me, would you?
BANING.
Yep.
YB.
Okay. Cool. Wait, it's BAN. Do you say ING or YNG?
Well, it's like bang,
Oh, bang.
BAN. Yeah, and then ING YB.
Okay, that should do it. My bad. All right, yeah. You're all up.
Can't watch your live in.
Yeah, no worries.
What was that?
You're all up. What league are we going after? I see 4 here for you.
Yeah, I want to do the Diddy one, the after party, Diddy after party.
Yeah, I got you. All right, right on. All All right, folks, to my friends out here watching on YouTube, this is an awesome tool that my man MJ Walsh built for us. If you haven't seen it already, it's over on the Dynasty Price Check website, the Dynasty Decoder. It works damn near the exact same as Dynasty Daddy, so I can pull up your leagues and you can as well. And very soon, we've got some other functions coming to this, and I'm going to have special tags on here for my buys and sells on each individual player that you'll be able to see as you pull up these leagues, as well as some player ranking information proprietary to the Dynasty Price Check team. So Mikey, Walsh, and myself. It's going to be pretty awesome. Sorry for that little intro, but want to make sure everyone knows what we're working on here. And we've got Lynn's team up right here. I got Justin Bieber, it looks like. Give me a little background here, man. What's the state of the team? What's the scoring format? How many starters you got? Anything weird I should know? And then how's your league mates? You got any pending trades or anything that I should know going in?
It's a start 10,
Okay.
super flex,
Mm-hmm.
and premium.
What's the tight end
Now this
premium
is
at?
it's just 0.5.
0.5. Okay.
Yeah, so you get 1.5 per catch,
Sure.
and then that's really it for the scoring. Um, Everyone in the league is cool. Everyone's pretty active, open for
Okay.
trades and stuff.
Cool.
This is the second year. The startup was last year,
Uh-huh.
and I kind of punted year one off of it because I saw a lot of teams going kind of to contend,
Sure.
which is always usually the case. But I just saw some value in some young players, and I just started taking a lot of it. And I was supposed to tank, but I actually got a 2026 pick that ended up being the 101. So I got a lot of I got like 4 first round picks this year.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I barely missed. And like the thing is, my team was kind of competing for a second, but I kind of just chose to still try to tank, and I traded some stuff away.
Okay, so it looks like we got so that is the 101. What are your other 26 firsts? Where are they placed here?
Oh, I have the 101,
Mm-hmm.
the 104, the 107, and the 110.
107 and the 110. Okay, dang. Right on, man. All right, well, I like the draft capital you've got for yourself here. Obviously, this looks like you were kind of in a rebuild. I'm assuming you didn't do very well this last year.
Yeah, like I told you, last year was a
Yeah,
startup, and I kind of
startup,
just punted
yeah.
year one.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries. Okay, well, dude, honestly, so far though, I love the team build. Like, if you know me well, or if you watch my content, I'm a big Garrett Wilson guy. Was a huge Jackson Smith and Jigba guy. So, quite frankly, I think the very big positives of this team is that you've got the pieces in place as cornerstone assets here to turn this around very quickly. I love the wide receiver room you have because you're essentially rocking. Is this a start for wide receiver format, by the way?
No, so it's 2 wide receivers and 3 flexes,
Two wide receivers, three flexes
plus the super flex. So it's
in the
4 flexes
Superflex. Yeah.
technically.
Okay. Well, honestly, man, I love the look of this team just because you got JSN and Garrett Wilson, so I feel really good about that. You got Ibuka obviously waiting in the wings, which is great for you. I think right out the gate here, I would say a few things. Obviously, you're going to add Jeremiah Love to this team, which is awesome. I think the only other
Yeah.
thing I would say, and this might be kind of a hot take, but you might have heard me talk about it before on previous streams. I'm not a big Travion Henderson guy. Not actually because I didn't love his prospect profile or think he's wildly talented. Neither of those things are true. I actually, unfortunately went on record saying that I think Travion Henderson could probably be the most talented back in that last class as far as his home run ability. But unfortunately, the landing spot, the touch split, everything that's kind of gone into to what's going on in New England right now just doesn't really give me a ton of confidence that he's going to come out and just be a workhorse next year. I think when you make it to the Super Bowl, you probably just run it back with a pretty similar strategy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. I know you probably invested some serious draft capital into him, which I don't blame you on. But my first order of business would be trying to potentially move Travion Henderson. And I'm wondering, and that's why I kind of want to pull up here and see who owns him. What is the Cam Scadaboo's owner like, and what does he value him at? It looks like it's Mr.
Oh,
Johnson.
yeah, yeah. I actually already tried to get him,
Did you?
but he's probably the worst team in the league.
He is. Yeah.
He has the 102,
Mm-hmm.
and this was so he used to have Jonathan Taylor, and he traded Scat picks. I think he got back for Jonathan Taylor. He did that in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of just taking. He already took Cam on injured for
Yeah.
JT, so he's kind of like building around Scat.
He's locked into scat. Okay, that's fine. We can
Yeah,
we can pivot then. Let me think of if we go look around here. I know we just got a nice value boost, so it's not the best time to buy. But Puffin Herbert, where's he at with Kenny Walker here? What are the odds that you get? What are the odds you get something on top of Kenneth Walker for Travion Henderson? Yay or nay?
I actually think I can get that. That will probably be something that I could try to do because he's shown interest in Travion before.
Okay, I love this idea. Then, what are the odds that? I mean, he's got a loaded tight end room. I doubt he's probably looking to give you
Yeah,
like
he's
Loveland in some package here. But man, I would love to sweeten the pot here and see if we could give him Travion Henderson. And then what was the latest first you had? It was the 110, was it?
yeah 110.
What are the odds you could go Travion Henderson in the 110 and get Colston Loveland and Kenneth Walker? I would love that deal for you personally.
Yeah, I would love that deal too.
I think you send it right now and just see what he
What
says.
if I send him the 107?
I'm fine with that too. Quite
'Cause
frankly,
I think the 110 might not be enough for him because
I
he's kind of going the bully tight end route.
sure. I mean, look, let's start here, right? Like, let's start with the 110. Send the offer. If it doesn't go for him, maybe what I like about your roster, man, is that you have Brock Purdy, and I know we were kind of
No,
stashing him.
that's his roster.
Oh, sorry. He has Brock Purdy. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
He has Brock
yeah.
Purdy. I know you've been stashing Mac Jones here and probably hoping he gets a starting spot somewhere. And I don't disagree with you. I would hope that happens as well. My only hesitation is just from an NFL GM perspective, and I think this is going to start picking up more steam this offseason as well. The Niners just don't have a lot of reason to trade him, to be completely frank. Like unless they're blown away by a good offer, especially after the injuries they occurred with Purdy last year, and if they want to contend, they might just hold Jones on that contract for one more year. And so, what if you were to throw in Mac Jones in that deal? Because you got Malik Willis here, which is some nice upside. Or quite frankly, I'm very out on JJ McCarthy. I don't know if that gets him excited at all. But I would start kind of just throwing some sweetener pieces on the end of that before you just jump straight to the 7. But I think you kind of walk them down here. You know what I mean? Like throw some other pieces on there. Throw Josh Downs in there. If he won't do it, I don't mind throwing Trey Harris in there, even though I kind of like him. But I would start there. And then, yeah, like you said, if you got to do the 107, let's do it. But quite frankly, I think that's the best fit of a deal you can get here is this guy, especially since he has no first this year.
Yeah,
Might be able
he,
to
he kind of
get that
went
done.
he kind of went all in this year. Traded his first and stuff. I think he has first. He actually got his first back. I think in 27.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think at one point he had no 27 or 26 picks.
Yep. Well, let's start there, man. I think that's probably your best fit. I'm looking around at some other teams here. I mean, something else I would be fine exploring is it looks like Team 42 has a nice locker room of running backs here. So,
He
did he just
he's been
win?
the
How's he
hardest
doing?
guy. No, the team that just won was Super. It's that Kid Cudi's car. In my opinion,
Oh,
he's
Kid
the
Cody's car.
Heat Golf. It's like at the top.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, his I don't know. I don't like his team much, but he somehow won this year.
No, well, like I said, man, I think you probably said Team
That
42 is
42
the.
miles team. I've been trying to work with him.
Mhm.
Been trying to work with that team 42 right there.
Yeah.
It's like I said, he has a lot. Like you said, he has a lot of running backs,
Hmm.
but he's just I don't know. He's hard to work with. He values his players a lot, and he like doesn't like my players.
Yeah, then let's
But
not worry about him too much. I was just thinking he's kind of the other guy where like, in that Kenneth Walker range, Brees Hall was another name that I was like, I would tear that off Travion to Brees Hall and get a little bit kicked back to me. I'd be fine with that. I think like Etienne's a name that I'm not completely like off as far as an option, but quite frankly, like that's a little bit more of a drop. I definitely feel better just talent wise about like a Ken Walker or a Cam Scat, but we already talked about Cam Scat kind of being not really on the table there. I would say for now, let's focus on the Walker guy. Let's see if we can get something done. You're in the Discord here, so let's send the offer. Let's see what the response is. You always can tag me in the trade center and just let me know, and we'll walk him down. We'll get something done there for you.
what do you think about my QB room? You think I'll be good with Darnold as my QB too?
It's not ideal, obviously, but the positive you have here is you got that second, which I'm assuming, what is it, the 201, or it's an early second?
It's a 204.
204. I mean, quite frankly, man, like it doesn't sound sexy, but Ty Simpson's probably on the board around there. I think he's not gonna like.
I think he will fall.
I think you're probably just gonna take a swing. I think you take a swing at quarterback in the second, or at the very worst, like I was saying, I think Malik Willis probably gets a starting job here. It might be Miami, and he definitely offers some decent rushing upside to where, like, he doesn't have to be a great real-life quarterback to give you fantasy production. We know that from Kyler Murray, right? Like, that guy is pretty ass, but he was a consistent top 10 quarterback, and that's just the reality of the situation for fantasy football. So I think, like, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, the other option for you, right, is this is why we got to be modular, right? You got that 204. I love the flexibility it gives you. We're going to hit free agency. What if Malik Willis signs a decent deal with Miami here or the New York Jets or something like that, right? And there's a hype train building around him. I love taking guys that get like that offseason boost and just taking the risk out of the equation. So why don't we, if this does happen, just so you're ready and prepared, if Malik Willis signs a good deal here, and someone's excited about it, then let's use him like we used Justin Fields last offseason. Take Malik Willis and the 204 and go get yourself a decent QB2. Like I think by all means that should get you Jared Goff, Daniel Jones, someone that at least can give you top 12 upsides, like maybe even a Dak Prescott, right? Because you have Caleb Williams, so your QB2 doesn't need to be a 25-year-old kid. It can be a 33-year-old guy, a 31-year-old guy that's going to give you 3 to 4 years solid production. So I think that's kind of the range I'd be playing in. I mean, obviously, I don't know where guys are being valued in everybody's leagues. Everyone's league economy is different, but I did a startup the other day that I'm looking at a board right now, and I picked up Jared Goff at the 8-8. Like, I picked up Jared Goff late, man, and that's wild to me, but his value's fallen immensely. So I don't know why. He finished a top 10 quarterback again this year, and the Lions are going to bounce back fine. He's 31. He's a true pocket passer. It's not like he's relying on his legs and he's going to fall off here. Probably going to get some Drew Brees level, like, 4 to 5 at least solid years out of him. Maybe not Drew Brees 10 years, but you'll get Matthew Stafford at least like to 35, 36 out of Jared Goff. So I think that's where I'm kind of targeting for you, man. Is I'm not too worried about the quarterback room, but I'm glad you brought it up just because it's something to keep in the back of your mind, especially if you're going to try to turn this team around. But to keep it simple for you, man, like the way I'm looking at this team is your wide receiver room I feel pretty good about, but let me just give you a quick blueprint and then I'll keep it moving here. You got, Caleb Williams obviously is your cornerstone there. You're good. QB2, let's be modular. Let's be flexible with it. The Travion thing, I'd like to move off of and see if we can get, a Ken Walker plus coming back to you. And then obviously you're going to add Jeremiah Love here. I think a third running back's always necessary, but that can be kind of a swing depth guy. So, let's stay active on the trade market this offseason. See if maybe a Trey Harris or, a Josh Downs and, Josh Downs in a third, Josh Downs in 2/4 can go out there and, maybe let you take a swing on one of these free agent guys, right? Like a Tyler Algier, maybe if he lands somewhere, could be an interesting pickup. Even looking at some other deeper running backs, like maybe Kenny Gainwell gets a chance after what he did last year to sign somewhere. Maybe you can bring in Jalen Warren, a DeAndre Swift would be kind of a perfect fit. I don't know where the Swift owner is on his value, but like, does Josh Downs plus a third and a fourth get me DeAndre Swift? I'd be thrilled to do that. Bring him in as my RB3. And then you got Ken Walker, Jeremiah Love, DeAndre Swift. That gears you up nicely for the season. The wide receiver room, like I said, I really like it from a young building block perspective, but I need one veteran in there. So, in my mind, I'd say like, whether it's that second or, a 27 future second or whatever you want to do. Or like I was saying, maybe we pair Josh Downs along with somebody. copy and paste what I was talking about in the last review. Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, one of those guys that's a little bit more of a veteran, but is going to give you guaranteed points at age. I'd like kind of that to be maybe a third wide receiver you bring in. I mean, a guy that personally I would love taking a swing on right now. I don't know where he's valued on in your league, but what does Mike Evans cost on the open market in this league? Like, can we throw, a Pat Bryant at somebody? I mean, Pat Bryant's probably worth a hell of a lot more. Could you go Pat Bryant and get Mike Evans plus a third and a fourth and give yourself some more liquidity? And then you take Josh Downs in the third and the fourth and try to go get Devontae Adams. And now I've got a couple wide receivers that I could flex throughout the next year or two. I don't hate doing that, especially if you're able to pull off the other moves. Rashad White's a decent guy that you got here because I think he's going to sign somewhere and at least give you some flex-worthy production. And then, like I was saying, blueprint-wise, you need to address the tight end room, but I think Loveland's that guy, right, that we're going to target right out the gate there. So hopefully that works out for you. And if it doesn't, I think you kind of, go back to the drawing board and see what we can do as far as, Mark Andrews is a pretty cheap tight end right now who just signed an extension. And I think, he's probably been very undervalued on the Dynasty market as far as just like somebody that'll get you through the season with good production. I mean, Mark Andrews and AJ Barner, if the rest of your team is solid, should get you through the season. It might not be the ultimate difference maker that wins you the ship, but again, the George Kittle's out there. He's really undervalued right now after that injury. I think that dude's a dog. He's going to come back by week 3 or 4. I think people are writing him off for the season. He could be a sneaky buy. But those are some ideas I got for you, man. I hope that helps at least get you started here. And like I said, you got me in the trade center, so tag me whenever and let me know what you're cooking up. And at least I've seen the team now, so I know what you're working with.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Of course, man. Thanks for all the support, guys. You guys are awesome, man. We got an awesome Discord community growing here. I love seeing all the trades coming through. So we're just getting started. I appreciate you, bro. All right, let's go ahead and jump to our next roster review. Mikey, who do you got for me here? Who's next? I kind of want to, how far off is Kyle here? I know Kyle's been waiting, and I told him to come through this week. I want to rip his too, so hopefully he's in the next couple here. Sterl, then Kyle. All right, Sterl, why don't you request to speak, man? I'll call you up on stage. You're the man. All right. Mikey, can you do me one other favor, man? Can you, whoever's watching on YouTube, for some reason my YouTube stream is just showing me the Dynasty Decoder main page, and it's not showing me when I pull up the teams. Can you guys actually see when I'm pulling up the teams, or is it just showing you the main page? Anyone in the YouTube, let me know. Or Mikey. We can see the teams? Okay, great. Lovely. Perfect. Sorry. For some reason, my YouTube studio stream is just not showing when I'm pulling up the teams, but it must be just a frozen image. So it doesn't bother me. Sterl, what's up, man? How are you? And what's your Dynasty username, my man?
Hey, how you doing, brother? My sleeper is STID WELL.
WEL. All right. Stidwheel. Wait, did I do it wrong? Go again for me.
STID WELL.
ELL. Stidwell. My bad. I said Stidwheel. I'm dyslexic today. In fairness, I live in Amsterdam, and it is already 9 p.m. for me almost. All right. Man, love it. All right, we got plenty of teams here. Which one do you want to dive after?
See, I'm torn between two, but you said you're doing this again next week. I
Yes,
think
sir.
I'm gonna go and piggyback off of the last guy and do the Gridiron Gamblers one.
Right on. Right on. Listen, yeah. No, yeah. Luckily for you guys, man, I'm gonna make this just a staple. Every week we'll go the whole off season, so it'll be a blast. And are you Brady, the Team Brady 5M?
No, I think I just might be Team Stidwell.
Oh, Team. Good call. Stidwell's daddies is what we're at here. I like it.
Oh wait, no, sorry.
No.
Sploof Destroyers. Sorry, I've been beefing with some guy, and we named our teams after each other.
That's really funny. Okay, nice. Sploof Destroyers. I see you. All right, man. Give me a little context here. What are we working with roster-wise? Like starting spots, tight end premiums, all the good stuff.
All right, so we have Superflex, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, and then 2 flex spots. So this is a start 9,
Start 9. Okay.
PPR format, and then a .5 tight end premium.
Okay, right on. And where'd you finish last year? And then what's that first that you got? Where's it placed?
So this is my first seasons ever playing Dynasty. So all those leagues that you saw were all startup drafts,
Mm-hmm.
and the 26 pick is the 107.
26 picks to 107. Okay. All right, right on, man. Well, honestly, a good quarterback room. I'm just gonna say right off the gate, I kind of like the quarterback horde you got going on here. I think Michael Penix is greatly undervalued. You guys probably heard me talk about this before, but he's got the draft capital. I know the knee injury is unfortunate, but we got a new regime coming to Atlanta, and quite frankly, there's no reason not to roll with him. So I think Michael Penix will be fine there. And obviously, Sammy D just won my Seattle Seahawks the Super Bowl, and Cam Ward's ascending, and Jaden Daniels is Jaden Daniels. So I think nothing crazy to address right there out of the gate. I like the running back room. We got Jahmyr Gibbs and Ken Walker. That's pretty damn good for me. Obviously, I'd like a third guy in there just to feel better about myself going to sleep at night and not worry too much about the injuries and give myself another flex spot. You probably did hear what I said before about Rashee Rice here, so I'm just going to start there. Where are we at with the Rashee Rice value in this league? Are people nervous? Is there a market for him? Where are you at?
So kind of like a week ago, I think is when we finished, and I'll talk about the Ken Walker trade I did in a little bit, but
Cool.
I had gotten a Marv Rice for Pickens and like what I assume is going to be a late 27 first, and I was just happened to be on vacation, so that way I didn't get to pull the trigger. But there are a couple guys that like Rice and still trust Marv. So I know you kind of talked about, I think it was maybe Rice and Burden, trying to
Yeah.
package both of those together to go ahead and get someone. So I mean, if I have to hold Rice and like the first guy said, maybe he doesn't get suspended and then trade him then, fine. But I am looking to move off both of them just to try to get
Do
someone
you
a
remember
little bit
for
more
me,
consistent.
like, who, because I can look at their teams right now. Is there any teams that you remember that were like, oh, I would maybe take a chance on Rashee Rice here? Because I'd love to just see what they're working with and see how we could craft something for you.
I know the Marwas Go Bolts. He had sent me that offer for it might have been a 27 second and then Pickens, but he sold Pickens to someone else. And I'd have to go in and look. I think the Brady guy sent me an offer too, and I had drafted Bijan and Henderson in the draft. And I know, kind of listening to you, you're not a big Henderson fan, and just after what I saw over the playoffs and having him like in redraft leagues over this
Mm-hmm.
past season, I wasn't a big fan either. So I turned him into Gibbs, Walker, and a 27 first. And you can go look at Brady's team. I would be surprised if that wasn't a first 2 pick next year. So that was
Sorry,
another
you moved
question.
Travion Henderson for Gibbs, Walker, and a first?
Oh, sorry, Bijan and
Oh,
Travion. I sent both of them
Bijan
for.
and Travion. Okay, I was like, that's incredible. I mean, still actually a great trade for you, to be honest. You barely teared down, and it's basically, I mean, Gibbs and Bijan are not that different for me. I mean, obviously, you got to give Robinson a slight nudge, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think this is great. Okay, lovely. Well, yeah, no, I'm looking at this guy's team. I agree with you. I think that's probably going to be an early first, so good for you, man. Was he one of the guys, though, that you said would maybe be interested in Rashee Rice?
Yeah, him and the guy under him too, that Brock by
Brock
Brock.
by Brock?
I think both of them also
No, he
showed
needs wide
interest a little
receivers
bit.
for sure. So that's not a bad move. Well, first, I'm just going to throw it out there to swing to start here. If there's any world where you get Tet straight up for Rashee Rice, I would do it. I mean, I don't know how
Mhm.
much more you have to add on top of that, but to be frank, looking at your team, you've got kind of capital you got. I mean, yeah, man, if we're going to try to turn this thing around, that 27 seconds on the table. I mean, any chance we go Rashee Rice for Tet straight up, start there. If he says no, throw Rashee Rice in a 27 second, ask for a 27 third kicked back. So you're essentially doing a 2-3 pick swap. See if you can get that deal done. I'd love that, honestly, for you. To just start. If he's unwilling to move off Tet altogether, then fine. Let's go to the next guy. I think, obviously, Brock by Brock, he needs wide receivers bad. I see he's got 2 firsts Where's these firsts placed? Like, are any of them top 4 picks to give you a swing at one of those wide receivers?
Or Brock by Brock.
Yeah, Brock by Brock. Manning forehead, I think
He's
is his name,
the
yeah.
105 and 106, and then I think he might have sent me an offer too, but I just had the 107, so
I mean, look,
I just
man,
I was trying to get rid of it
my,
and just in general, but
my
sorry, go ahead.
my trusty Discord moderator here, MJ Walsh, um, is just actually executed not so long ago the 105 straight up for Rashee Rice, just trying to move off
Mhm.
Rice, and I loved it for him personally, just because I think at the 105 you're going to get a swing at one of the receivers. You know, I think it's unlikely in a super flex that Mendoza falls that far. I just think someone will take a swing on the QB, right? So I think you'll either get a Tyson, a Lemon, or a Tate, and I'm happy with that. Um, comparatively, now you know I don't know where Rice is valued in your league, so if you think this guy's willing to pay more, let's milk him for more, right? Like, can I get a first and a couple of those seconds? He's got multiple back just so that he gets Rashee Rice on his roster. I mean, he's so he's so wide receiver needy that that you might be able to squeeze him for something like that. I think the only other thing I would explore is I really like your tight end room. You know, I love Tucker Kraft, and I actually think Theo Johnson provides you with some decent upside here. But at the same time, I'm not above trying to swing at Tyler Warren. You know, I see he's already got Brock Bowers here, but especially with a small tight end premium, that's a guy you can flex every week. So, you know, I don't know where Rashee Rice and maybe what you had. Let me look at your picks again. You had the
107, and I have an
107,
extra 27 first.
extra 27 first. That's where I'm like, does Rashee Rice a 27 second in that third and fourth you got this year get you the 105 in Tyler? Or what if we go Rashee Rice? You got any other tight ends down here? Not really, huh? On the roster, Theo's you kind of your backup. I mean, honestly, man, what are the odds you go Rashee Rice and Theo Johnson in that third and fourth, and you get the 105 and Tyler Warren back? I don't know if that's a possibility, but I would start there. If you've got to add that 27 second to get it done, and maybe you go add another pick swap in there where you get, you know, a 27 third back, I'd probably do that from your perspective. I just think it sets your roster up way better. But that's some food for thought for you, just because it gives you more flexibility for the future. I think looking around at other teams, just to give you a small blueprint, obviously for the team. Sorry, I know I kind of just dove right into trades here and wanted to get ripping, but I think I think, you know, where you're at is I love your running back room. I want a third guy. Like I was saying, you know, I gave you the Swift kind of option here. Bring me in DeAndre Swift as your RB3. I don't have any issue doing that. Maybe you can see what he costs on the open market for you. Maybe that 27 second just gets it done, or maybe the third, fourth, and add your 27 third. I don't care, and see if that gets it done. Give me a third running back, but really, like you were saying, the wide receiver room is where I got to focus all my attention here. And quite frankly, the 107 is probably out of the range of getting you anybody of extreme value in this draft at the wide receiver position that's going to give you any sort of semblance. So I would say that's just open to be shopped, you know, just in general. So where are people on this class? Like, would the 107 get me AJ Brown plus, or would they not be doing that deal?
I think that, well, all the like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, I know the Eagles wide receivers owners were kind of iffy when they were drafting them, so I think that's something that might get done. I know you can always find someone who thinks a first is a first, but I think
Yeah,
probably in general, obviously after the 105, no one's really excited about, but it's
yeah.
worth a try.
No, it's worth a try. I mean, that's probably where I would start. Is I don't see who has AJ Brown in this league. I'm clicking through here, but I just don't see it. Maybe it's because he's on the bench somewhere. But
JV
oh,
Ader.
JV8er, yeah. Man, I mean, where did he place last year? I see he doesn't have picks this year, so I assume he swung for it. He's got James Cook and McCaffrey. He probably did well.
Right. I don't know if I said it earlier, but this is a startup that like we just finished.
Gotcha. Oh, just finished. Yeah, you're right. Okay, my
Yeah,
bad.
I've never played Dynasty before.
Interesting.
I fired a bunch of startups and then
Oh, wow.
found
Good for
you and
you.
figured I'd ask some questions.
Yeah, good for you, man. All right, well, yeah, you came to the right place then. That's exciting, bro. You're in. Well, this guy's roster is very interesting. I mean, he's definitely a contender, so maybe he's not as stoked to do it, but I mean, actually, man, the way I look at it, he might be a decent trade partner for you. Ironically, just because I want Devontae Adams and AJ Brown. I don't know if you can pull them both in, but what if we go the 107 and what else you got? Yeah, the 107 Christian Watson. In that third and fourth, and see if you can go get Devontae Adams and AJ Brown, like just straight up, and see if he'll do it. I doubt he will because it leaves him pretty thin at wide receiver here, and he doesn't have a lot of, like picks to work with. But at the same time, he's got so many tight ends. He might be able to flip Sam Laporta for a receiver, and Mark Andrews for a receiver, and he could tear off one of these running backs. He's got Woody Marks sitting on his bench too. Maybe he's able to print a Wandale Robinson for him and feel a bit better, or a DK Metcalf. So I would at least inquire. Maybe that first offer doesn't get it done for you, but let's at least inquire what that would cost, because I want both those players on my roster. And if he won't do them both together in a package, no big deal. No big deal. Maybe let's just target AJ Brown and see if we can get the 107. You can get AJ Brown and Troy Franklin. Give yourself a swing. Or AJ Brown and Malik Willis is a good throw-in. I'd love to get Malik Willis back. That gives you another quarterback to stash in case he signs somewhere, and that'll give you a ton of liquidity this offseason. So I'd probably start there, man. But you kind of know where the direction you're going here. That pick's on the table for me. And honestly, all three of these receivers are on the table for me. So if you're able to craft some sort of package together where I'm getting two upside guys, like I would love it. I think the issue is it's hard to be buying these young studs right now, but I would keep the market open. Sorry if I can't generate a bunch of immediate ones for you right now. I think it's really tough out of a startup. And I think that's where I'm hitting a roadblock here, is like a lot of these guys drafted their teams because they like their teams, right? So they're probably not going to give you one of these stud wide receivers right out of the gate. It's just what I always expect out of a startup. I'm never able to make big splash wide receiver trades right out of the gate because, like I was saying, these guys probably spent their second round startup pick, third round startup pick on most of these receivers, and they're probably just looking for an incredible haul to get them. Plus, almost everybody out of a startup thinks that they can contend, which is totally fair. That's normally how it's supposed to work, a fair draft. But, you got to, like I was just saying, strategy-wise for you, this is your first season playing Dynasty, right? So everybody is going to think they're contending right out of the gate, and that's why they drafted their team. But about a halfway into the first season, there's going to be a lot of teams that realize, yep, I did not do this right. And I'm either going to have to punt, or there's going to be some teams that are ultimately leaning in. And you need to find where your team shakes out among that. Now, looking at it, like I said, it's not a bad team, but it's definitely a middle of the road team right now, because I like your running back room a lot, but the wide receiver room leaves a lot to be desired. I like your tight ends. So I think let's just be modular this offseason and reach out to all the guys that have either, those top 3 round wide receivers. So I would say anywhere from Nico Collins, Garrett Wilson, any of those top 3 picks in the 26 draft class. George Pickens, I know you moved. Olave, St. Brown, London, Jefferson, Tet. I like all those guys. Even, like I said, Nico Collins is getting a nice little drop in value right now. He could be a sneaky buy for you, depending on where the guy is with him. Or AJ Brown, like I was saying. I think AJ Brown's really undervalued right now on the open market. So maybe we could get something done down around that. But I would say that's probably the most of what I got for you right now, just because right out of a startup is so tough, man.
All right, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, of course, bro. Tag me anytime in the trade center. Let me know what offers you got coming in, going out, and happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Cool, man. All right, Kyle, let's get you in here, man. I appreciate you coming through, waiting your turn and everything. I'm excited to dive into your little rebuild, so let's get you up here. If I remember right, this is the team with a ton of liquidity, eh? What's going on, man?
Hold on, man. How are you? Can you hear me
Pretty.
okay?
Yeah, you're good, bro. Correct me if I'm wrong. We were messaging on TikTok this week, right? You're the guy with the
Yes.
rebuild. Let's go, man. All right, I'm excited to dive into it. Remind me your sleeper username.
It is KRUTT11.
Okay, lovely. All right, and this was which league?
Extraordinary Gentleman.
Extraordinary Gentleman. I love it. All right, man. You know the drill. You've been hearing me talk here. Give me a little background to what's my scoring format. Is there any no-go trade partners? Anything I should know about? And then what was your team name called here?
It is Injured Reserves.
Injured Reserves. Okay, and this looks like a 10-team league, right? Yeah.
It is a 10-team league, super
Okay.
flex. What is this? Start 10, 3 wide receiver starts, 2 running backs, and a tight end, and then 2 regular flexes, and then a super flex, obviously.
Okay. All right, 10 by 10, super flex, and then remind me where these picks are. You got some high up picks, huh?
I have the 101
Mm-hmm.
and the 102, and then the 109 this year, with
102,
the
109.
209 and the 210.
Okay.
Those are all
Lovely.
my picks this year.
And you got tons of 27 firsts from what it looks like.
I
4.
have 4 with a second and third.
Wow. Love that for you. Okay.
And my team went to absolute. That's the term why my team is called Injured Reserves. So
Yeah.
traded a bunch of people away last season.
Well, let's start here. Which Kyle, what's your background in Dynasty? How much you been playing a long time?
I've been playing this is going to be my 4th year of Dynasty.
All right, then you got a decent handle on things, so you at least kind of know what we're working with here. But obviously, these 10-man leagues, you know, the cream of the crop is what matters, right? Like especially even in a start 10, guys outside the top 30 really aren't getting you much, and guys outside the top 20 really is even not good for a contender. So, you know, obviously that 101, great. We're gonna get Jeremiah 11 here. I love it. I'm probably just holding it, you know, unless you're willing to really shop it and get an incredible haul. That's probably where I'm at. Remind me I said I know you had a late round pick. What was the other first? It was the
109.
It's the 109, and then you have 3. This middle one was what?
Yeah, 101,
102.
102, and then
you
the
got the 102.
109.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, right out the gate here, you probably heard everything I've said on Travion Henderson. I do want to move him.
Yeah.
If possible. What's the market like for him? Is there guys that are interested at all, or is everyone skittish after what they saw this year?
I believe one team is still interested, so I actually got him for very, very cheap before he had the couple breakout. I think I only spent a second and a future third on him.
Wow, that's incredible.
So
I watched him get at like the 103 most in most every draft, so that's amazing. Okay.
And again, it was right before he popped off.
Sure.
But I think one team is, and it is Jackow is his team name. Trying to get the exact, or the head ball coach.
Head
is
ball
his
coach.
Name.
Yep, right on.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's a contender.
Yeah, so he came in second, and then another one came in first. They went all out in trades this year.
I see he has this first though that is not his. Where is Lappy Dog's first that he has?
The 110.
110. Okay, still a late first. Well, quite frankly, it's just not the best fit trade partner for you, to be completely frank.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, right? Is like I like that he's interested, but he doesn't have a lot of pieces that really fit your build. I'm looking for either a cornerstone wide receiver like, I mean, I don't know where he's at on CeeDee Lamb. That's probably a tough swing. You'd have to add something for sure. But
so he was actually one that I traded to him.
Oh, you traded Lamb to him?
Year. So I built a very good team that I just ended up, everyone got hurt. I started losing. I'm like, so I restarted it all. Neighbors, Brown, and CeeDee Lamb I had, and I stripped them all off.
Okay.
That's why I have so many picks.
No, good to know. Okay, well, here's where I would look at it then. I like the Garrett Wilson swing, obviously. I'm assuming there's very little
Mhm.
market on Diggs and Jacoby Myers, or else you would have moved him.
Myers might be a little bit more easier. This is a fairly trade friendly league.
Yeah, okay.
Tends to be more on that side. So
Well, let's just rip the Band-Aid
um,
off here, and I'll jump right into a few things. First things
mhm,
first. Like I said, I'm happy moving Travion. Like, let's explore the market, see how creative we can get here. I'll start looking through some of the teams, see if you've got some good fits. Outside of that, like, I love Garrett Wilson. I love Rome from like a prospect profile. I'm unsure of how that's actually really going to translate here in Chicago. He might be just one of those guys we got to wait until he gets out of there and see what
yeah.
happens next. It's going to be up to you if you really want to like hold on and wait for that. The positive is you have enough liquidity and picks and stuff. I think you probably could if you want to, but at the same time, like, I wouldn't blame you for like you said, if it's a trade friendly league, maybe exploring other options, especially in a start
Mhm,
or in a 10-team start 10. Like you'll have other guys you could potentially bring in. Diggs
mhm,
and Myers, they need to go yesterday. Like, just any other liquidity that I could get is great, whether it's picks or potentially rolling both those guys together towards a contender, maybe with a second, and just getting another first.
mhm,
I kind of like the idea where you're already at right now is, let's just corner the market on that 27 class. If everyone
mhm,
has to come, like, realistically, you probably already know this. You're probably not going to contend this year. I mean, you'd have to be
yeah.
really, really modular here. And I will, give you the heads up that, like, I actually think that's always possible. Like, I think if you really
Mhm,
wanted to turn this into a contender, you could do it, right? Like, you could go buy
mhm,
guys like Terry McLaurin and Devontae Adams and, those guys with Garrett Wilson. Plus, like, you got Jeremiah Love coming in. You trade Travion Henderson
mhm,
for, like I mentioned in the previous suggestion, like Ken Walker plus, and then you go buy DeAndre Swift, and suddenly you're like, oh wow, I've 3 running backs deep, 3 wide receivers deep. George Kittle comes back week 4, and suddenly you're somehow in it, right? Like, you're in the playoffs. And
yeah.
I watch 7-7 teams win the playoffs every year. I play in a
Mhm,
lot of leagues. It happens. So I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm just gonna like keep it real with you in the fact that, like, you should probably just punt another year here. You've already leaned into it. You
yeah.
might as well just punt this
Yeah.
year and go all in 27. The positive is the 27 class is getting hyped into oblivion, and that's not stopping anytime soon. So if you already got
Yeah.
4, why don't we just make it 6 or 7, and just
Yeah.
corner that market? Because Jeremiah Smith alone is going to net you, 4 guys if you really wanted
Yeah.
to, right? Like,
So,
yeah,
I completely agree.
yeah, yeah.
I'm very okay with not doing well this year. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my quarterbacks are not great. Um, but the thing to add next year is 4 teams. There's only 3 guys that's including myself have picks in the first round. We have all the picks, and they're the lowest 3 teams
Oh,
in the
interesting.
league.
Gotcha.
So, actually, there might be one. I believe it's Kiss My Homies Goodnight has the one and singular pick outside of the 3 other teams.
I see it.
Um,
Yeah.
so, um,
Well, first things
it's
first
gonna
with
be
him then.
tough.
Like, question for you. I see that he's got
Hmm.
Brees Hall. I see that he's also got Tet. I would love to get
Hmm.
Tet on here. Give me any sort of heat check on, like, is this guy completely out on Travion Henderson, or would you be able to potentially either add something to Travion Henderson to get Tet, or do something around a deal 1-for-1 there?
I could definitely see that. He's the one thing was his first year in Dynasty, so he's still learning all the like the trades and everything value wise. But Brees Hall and Ted uh, could very potentially be traded for
All right,
sure.
well, let's get greedy right out of the gate, right? If he's new to
Hmm.
Dynasty, let's try to fleece him. It might not happen, but let's
Hmm.
try to fleece him.
Yeah.
Travion Henderson, Jacoby Myers, Stephon Diggs. Throw them all together. You got a second this year? You got 2 seconds. What's the latest second you
Yep.
got?
The 209 and 210, both of them.
Give me the 210. Throw the 210 on that deal. Go a 4 for 2. Okay? Give me
Hmm.
Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, Jacoby Myers, the 210. Throw it at him. See if you can get Brees Hall and Tedero McMillan. If that by some chance goes through, You have fleeced him incredibly. If it doesn't go
Mhm.
through, then let's keep adding. Like, add that 27 third, add those two 27 thirds, add the 27
Mhm.
fourth. Like, I don't care. Get that deal done
Mhm.
by all means necessary, and I will be so happy for your team. Like, if we've got
Mhm.
Jeremiah Love, Brees Hall, and now I'm looking at a wide receiver room, at least starting, of Garrett Wilson and Tet before you've even taken any of your first round picks this year, like, we're well
Mhm.
on the way to reloading in a year. You know what I mean?
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that offer
I
needs to go
like that a
out
lot.
right now. Yeah, I love it. Like, let's send it today. And
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
do.
that's incredible. I think outside of that, like, if he's like, no, I'm not trading Tet, well, where's he at with Jackson Smith and Jigba? Probably pretty high. But if he's new to
Very.
Dynasty, what, you got that late first? Let's take that late
Mhm.
first. Marvin Harrison Jr., Stephon Diggs, Jacoby Myers, throw them all together. I don't care if it's a 4-for-1. These guys are dead weight on your roster. You were going to move them for
Yeah.
seconds, right? Like, they don't mean anything to you. So I think, if he's new to Dynasty, we just keep going. We just keep going. Like,
Mhm.
I will go player by player with this guy to some degree and
Okay.
see what we can get done there. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
One question for
Yeah,
you, really
please.
quick.
Yeah.
What do you think I should do with the 102? Now that I have the 101, should I try to shop that, or do I take a Mendoza or Tate?
Yeah. Okay. Here's the question I got for you then.
Hmm.
Like, it's all going to be league economy dependent, right? Like, what is that
Hmm.
102 going to be valued at? Is there a guy that's in love with Mekhi Lemon? Is there a guy that's in love with Jordan Tyson, right? Like, is there a guy that will pay a king's ransom for that? Because here's the way I look at it. Like, for me, and I'll just tell you, I don't have a lot of my stuff publicly on YouTube yet, mainly because, quite frankly, I'm not a huge believer in, like, given all these rookie mock drafts, until we
Hmm.
actually even have a combine and free agency's over with, and I can at least kind of scout team need.
Absolutely.
I think it's tough. Like, I have my rankings. Don't get me wrong. I've been working on them, but I don't love to put them out publicly yet because someone's gonna take a look at them, no context, and then never watch the channel again, right? So,
Hmm.
I think it's important to just wait. What I will tell you is, like, I have Lemon and Tyson kind of in their own bracket for me.
Hmm.
They're 1A, 1B. I think one's safer than the other. I mean, Mekhi Lemon's just the safer product in my mind. Jordan Tyson carries some of the injury risk, and that's the reality of it. However, his ceiling's
Hmm.
probably bigger. Now, to the degree that, like, on a team like yours, adding either of those guys would be fantastic, because if you are able to pull the trade I just said off, then you're looking at a
Hmm.
wide receiver room of Garrett Wilson, Tetaroa McMillan, and one of those two guys. I think at that
Hmm.
point, I'm feeling pretty good about my reload rebuild thing, because, as I mentioned before, we're thinking about this from the long term, right? You're still not trying to win this year. If you've got those three
Hmm.
guys on your roster already, then suddenly those 27 picks, 3 of the 4 of them become shoppable, and as you
Absolutely.
are waiting during the season and next offseason and those go to King's ransom level, well, like I said, next year, if you want to lean all the way in to win, then yeah, that 105 in the 2027 class is going to get you AJ Brown, Travis Etienne, and Devontae Adams, and you'll give the
Hmm.
105 and a 27 third, and wow,
Hmm.
suddenly now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to freaking contend, because you could
Yeah.
still have a
Absolutely.
few more picks and
Hmm.
shop the rest of them, and then you're just going one by one, right? So I think that that's the flexibility you got on the roster. Now, all that being
Hmm.
considered, like I said, it's going to be league economy dependent. If there's guys that are really into those players, no, Rach, you're all good. You can do whatever you want. Um, Sorry, my girlfriend's walking around the apartment. Um,
You're good.
but I'm just like, it depends on what the market is, right? Because if someone loves whoever's at the 102 and is willing to pay, a solid price for him, and you could get
Hmm.
back, like I was saying before, one of those running backs in the range that I like, of like a Ken Walker, a Cam Scat, a Kyron Williams, something like that, and you're also getting
Hmm.
a plus kicked back in, like maybe a T. Higgins, maybe a Buka, maybe a Lad McConkey, like someone in that range of wide receiver, then I would entertain it. I would absolutely entertain it, like knowing your build. I would also be potentially fine, obviously if the guy who's really into and wants his pick has the 104 or the 105, make a trade back and you get a sweetener. I'm good with that too, right? Especially if the sweetener is something sizable, like I was saying, like a Kyron Williams, or like maybe it wouldn't be that level of sweetener, but if you're going to move back maybe 4 or 5 picks and you want to take a swing on a Sadiq, at the 1-7 on this build, I don't hate it as long as I'm getting compensated. Like if I could get Judkins and you throw in a 3rd and a 4th or something, well, now we're kind of being smart here. Now we're being modular and we're getting some stuff done. So I think that's kind of where I'm looking at it with your team. I wouldn't close the door on anything.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But luckily, man, you're in the
you.
Discord now. We got these every week. You're going to have offers coming through when your rookie draft comes around. Like, I'm planning on hopefully having some sessions for folks that are just going to, have rookie drafts scheduled, and we'll just hop in general hangout. We can talk them all through together. So maybe I can even help you on the clock a little bit here, but that's where I like to start. I think the only other thing I'd tell you, man, is, sorry, just not to glaze over anything. Like, obviously love George Kittle. I just think probably after the injury here, and the age thing, he's not really a cornerstone for you anymore. Now selling him now is a sell low, and you already know that. You've been playing Dynasty enough. Yeah. So I think he's just one of those guys, right? You're going to wait till midseason next year, and hopefully he's putting up back-to-back 30-point performances, and you send him to the top 3 contenders, for what he can get, whether that's a 28 first or whatever. Just keep stacking your draft capital. You understand how to do this here. You've done a great job rebuilding. I want to tip my hat to you because it looks great. So I think that's really where we're at there. And then the only other thing I'd say to you is, I just think on a build like this and in a 10-team league, like, Matthew Golden's absolutely on the table for me. So if there's some other rebuilders out there that want to wait on him and take the swing, like, be my guest. If I can take Matthew Golden in 2 seconds and get another first, albeit a 28 first, I'd probably do it just because I think you're, or a second and a third. Maybe it doesn't even take that much, or a second and a fourth, or a third and a fourth, or 2/3. You know what I'm getting at? Like, always start low and work your way up, but I think that's fine. I think just as far as also just last thing I'll say, and then I'll move on to the next guy because, sorry, I'm rambling here, but I knew I was going to want to talk on this team because I love rebuilders. I love going shopping. So I think Kyler Murray and Braylon Allen are both other guys that I think will get a nice offseason spike here. I'm probably fine shopping both those guys as far as just like, what you could get. Like if Breece Hall leaves, right, and Braylon Allen looks like he's going to be the starter next year, like I never really want to run the risk of like a running back that wasn't drafted to be the starter. Like you've heard the stats, other creators have peddled at you a million times, and I'll just repeat them because it's true. But there's never been a running back that in the last 15 years or something, or maybe it's like since 2000, that was drafted in the top 22 picks that hasn't given you a top 8 finish during his rookie contract. So it's like they don't bust. Like they just don't bust. Those are the type of guys that you want to get, right? Like, especially if you're on a rebuilding roster. That's why you're going to take Jeremiah Levin. You're going to be thrilled about it. You know what I mean? These Braylon Allen guys, like, it's exciting if you already own him and, you're a contender and he cost you nothing, or you got him in the 16th round of a startup or something and he becomes a starter. You're thrilled, you're absolutely thrilled because that's lovely. And now you kind of just got free money, house money to play with. But on a team like yours, really no reason to hold any sort of risk there, right? No reason to even just wait for him to accumulate into anything. If he looks like he's going to be the starter and someone's like, oh, that's the Jets starting running back, that's who I want. And you're like, great, give me a 28 first for him. I'll give you Braylon Allen in a third. And now you're just stacking more liquidity for the future. It gives you more buying power next season, because that's the beauty of it, right? Like anyone you hold that has any risk at all this season is a lost cause for you, right? Like let's just say by some chance James Conner comes back and decides he wants to take a snap of football again. Like, great. Give me a late second, like James Conner in a fourth, give me a second. Like give me anything that doesn't hold risk, right? The only reason I'm saying it's the same thing for Kyler Murray, right? Like if he gets traded, he's going to be the starter somewhere, or the new regime in Arizona is like, yeah, we're going to actually roll with Kyler Murray this year. Great. You're trading him. You're trading him because he's either maybe not going to work out in Arizona, or he's going to be Justin Fields round 2. Like you just don't want to be holding that. So I think that's just my
Absolutely.
only other sentiment for you. Same thing goes with Kenny Gainwell. He's going to be a free agent. Maybe he gets a nice little touch split somewhere and he can go to a contender
Mhm.
this season too. Yeah.
Perfect.
Of course, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much for everything.
Of course, man. Of course, man. I was glad you reached out because as soon as I saw your roster, I was like, I'm excited to talk through this one. Like, I love the chance to go out there and retool a team in 1 year or less. Like, if you haven't already seen it on my YouTube, I know it's like probably a decent amount of videos back now, but there was a team I took last year that had the 106. I missed the playoffs, and I turned it into a 14-0 team this year. I actually didn't win the championship. Unfortunately, I lost in the semis. Mikey knows he's in that league, but that was kind of one of those teams. I had three 25 firsts. I had, several 26 and 227. And then I had, a decent amount of young-ish guys. And I was like, I can retool this in 1 year. And I did. I retooled it in one offseason, won 14 games, lost 0. Obviously, it's fantasy. It comes down to playoffs, and I got unlucky. But this is one of those teams where if you do it right this year, I think you could do that, right? Like, I think you could have a year this year, and the next year you could go balls to the wall, buy all the contenders you want, still have a young core, and take yourself to a perfect season. So good job, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll keep you updated.
Please do, man. Please do. Thanks for coming through. All right, Jeff is
Absolutely.
next. Let's get Jeff on in here. Jeff, go ahead and request to speak, man, and I'll throw you on up. Appreciate you waiting, guys. Sorry, I know that one was a long one, but I want to make sure everyone's getting good feedback here. All right, Jeff, my man, how we doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, bro. Well, why don't you throw me your sleeper username here, and then give me some context on the leagues.
Yep. It's Jeff Zeb.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Nice and easy. All right, let's see. Jeff Zeb. All right. What league we diving into this one?
I'm thinking we'll do the Nips and Dips one. That's the one that's it's pretty top heavy. There's some pretty solid teams up top, and I'm kind of like I don't know, middle of the pack, I'd say.
Stuck in the middle. I feel you. It happens to the best of us. All right, Team Jeff Zeb, I got you here. Sorry, I gotta look at your profile picture. I think Tim Robinson's like the funniest human alive. So that just,
he's the best.
That got me right there. I love that show. All right, all right, give me some context here. What's my scoring format? Where am I at in the league? You said middle of the pack or so, and then do we have any existing trade offers or anything you've been trying that didn't work for you?
Yeah, so it's a 12-team start 9 super flex. No tight end premium. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much sold off a lot of like the assets that I felt like had to get rid of because I was kind of like tanking last year a little bit. Like T. Higgins was gone. I got rid of like Jalen Warren too. But right now it's been a little quiet in the league.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then these firsts, I see you got 2 and 26. Where are they at there?
So I have the 103 and the 112.
103, 112, and then are either of these seconds early, or I mean, there's 3 of them actually. Where are those at?
It is the 203, 207, and 211.
203, 207, 211. Okay, man. Well, first off, good job getting yourself a bunch of liquidity here. I don't know where your league values draft picks, but I would love the opportunity here, which I'm going to generate some trades and stuff. Like, I'd love to just be able to throw seconds and thirds and fourths on things and hopefully get some movement. Does that work, or are these a group of savvy guys that are just like, nah, I'm not falling for that? Like, I guess an example would be like, does a Zach Charbonnet, a second, a third, and a fourth get me to a Josh Jacobs, or no one would fall for that?
No, I think it's definitely possible. There's a couple of the guys who are on the bottom half of the league that are more like, they're not really probably looking at their leagues or too much, but the top guys and the middle guys like me are pretty active, I'd say.
Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll shake that out as we go along. First off, I mean, I'm just going to like take my brief overlook at the team and give you kind of like the blueprint of where I would go with it. And then maybe we'll try to generate some team trades, and maybe you even let me know if you've already tried some of these things as well. But, obviously, sorry, did you say it's a super flex? It is, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Well, obviously we need a QB2. The positive is at the 1-3 you probably get a swing at Mendoza if you really wanted to. And I don't think it's a bad option, especially since I see Brock Bowers here, so you get the stack. I don't hate that as an option for you. So just good thing to keep in mind, right? The other option is at the 112, you'll probably get another chance at whoever the other top quarterback that gets drafted in this draft class is, whether that's Ty Simpson or somebody else. Doesn't get me out of bed in the morning like super excited, but it's an option fallback plan for you. But we'll talk about that more as we go along, because I'd be curious to see like, what does the 112 buy me a Jared Goff, or how low are we on quarterbacks and like older quarterbacks in this league? Like, does the 112 buy me Dak? Does the 112 maybe buy me Daniel Jones before he gets his extension here? And like, could I even get a kickback on top of that? Like, just food for thought. Like, do you think any of those happen or no?
No, I think that can happen for sure. I know that, like I said, like some of those top heavy teams, like B Fitz there, like he's got two solid quarterbacks. He's got, he might have got rid of. He's got Bryce Young on there too. So I mean, he's one of the top guys there. So I feel like he likes to make a lot of trades too. As you can see, I have a bunch of his picks.
For sure. I mean, here's the other thing I will say. I'm just looking over the team, and like I said, I always keep it real with everybody that comes on here. So please don't get offended by anything I say. But like, in my mind, I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, this team is on the brink of a teardown. Like, I'm considering it. We'll talk about some of the moves we can make here that might turn you around, and if we can get these done, great. But I just want you to know in the back of my mind here, like, if we can't get anything done on this team, I'm probably tearing off Josh Allen. I'm shipping Etienne. I'm shipping McLaurin. I'm shipping Reed, Worthy, Jennings, everybody. And I'm building around Bowers, Loveland, and whoever the tear down quarterback is. Just keep that in mind, okay? Because, like, I think that is potentially an option for you here. Now, you have enough capital, like I said, with all these seconds and thirds and fourths and stuff for the next several years that, like, if we can really get a lot done with that, then you could definitely put together a contending roster pretty quickly here and, still be totally fine. So let's just explore that one first, because obviously I want to avoid just telling you to ship the entire team away. But I just want to like keep it real with you from the beginning that like that's definitely in my mind as like, if we can't get these done, we're just gonna ship it. Okay. But let's start with at least what we can get done. Like, Etienne's going to get a boost here. He's going to get signed. You're probably just holding him. You need an RB2. Now, obviously, that's not going to get solved in this draft class. There's nobody at the top that I would take a swing at all with the 1-3. Now, at the 112, I'm curious what that would maybe get me on the open market as far as a running back goes. Like, again, he's had a great spike this season, but what does the 112 maybe get me? Ken Walker? I would do that today if it does. Does the 112 get me Kyron to somebody who's like, oh yeah, Blake Corum's going to take his workload? Well, that's not happening. Like, I would do that deal. Is the Saquon Barkley owner like somehow being like, well, he had a down season, he's old, like, I'll sell him for a first? I would do that. I would do it for Scat. I would do it for Judkins. I'd do it for any of those guys. First off, I'd start there. Do you think any of those get done? Is there any of those owners that are, even open to that idea, or are you saying no, that's not happening?
Yeah, especially the Saquon owner. I know he was looking to try and sell him last off season, and obviously he was like asking like a little much, but now I feel like he's going to be down on him a bit. So,
I mean, honestly, man, if the 112 straight up for Saquon goes, I'm doing it. I think that's a steal. I think you're going to get 2 to 3 really good years out of Saquon here. So I would do it. If it doesn't work, like, I would love to explore what the Cam Scadaboo owner's at. Like, if he'll do the 112, that'd be great. I don't think that happens. But again, you've got so much liquidity here. Like, could I do the 112 and add 2 26 thirds? And would he maybe explore that? I can't focus right now. Sorry. The 112 and then add 2 thirds. Like, would he maybe do that? I would easily do that to bring Scadaboo on this roster. I think exploring the rest of the team, like, let's look in the tier up department, right? And I'm sure you've done tier up trades before, but let's start with the wide receivers. Like Terry's going to stay, right? If we're going to try to contend, Terry's a great guy to have for the next 2 years. And quite frankly, I think he's undervalued right now. So it's going to cost you more to sell him in the negative than it would be to go buy a replacement for him that would give you that level of production. So, there, but Jaden Reed, like, could I take Jaden Reed and add a couple seconds or add a second and a third and get my way up to, potentially like I'm looking at maybe like the Devonta Smith range, maybe a little higher than that would be great. Like AJ Brown, if potentially the AJ Brown owner is low. Like I know everybody is low on AJ Brown for some reason. This man finished wide receiver 11 this last year and like looked horrible and was a diva and the offense was horrible. I mean, I'll gladly take wide receiver 11 overall for pennies on the dollar. So I'd at least start there. I'd be curious also to figure out, like you said, is there anybody that would be willing to move any of the first 3 rounds of a startup wide receiver? Like I'll just rattle them off for you and you tell me if there's anybody that would be a potential suitor for Chase, JSN, Puka, Drake London, Amon-Ra, Jefferson, Tet. Any of those guys would be willing to shop them or no?
I feel like this league is definitely high on these, like you said, the top 3 rounds of wide receiver. So I've been like trying to do that, but especially like the Amon-Ra owner I was looking at.
Yeah,
it's tough at times, obviously.
Sure. Well, then kind of like what I was saying earlier, man. I think that there's a unique opportunity right now in the market to kind of like play the veteran wide receiver game and invest your capital elsewhere. And so like you have Terry already. He's one of the guys I would be targeting, but like ironically, the Devontae Adams owner, like what would that cost you right now to go get Devontae Adams in this league? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would be like super high on him. That's Mr. 2X champ is the guy who owns him. And I mean, I think he's got Puka, Brian Thomas, and Devontae. So I don't see.
I mean, he's already got a few seconds in this year's draft, so I don't know if he'd be like wildly stoked on it, but like I would just start by sending whatever your latest second and your earliest third is and just see if you could get Devontae Adams on this team. Because at that point, you've got 2 wide receivers you can start every week. And then I would take Jaden Reed in a second and a third and go see if you can get AJ Brown. And now I've got 3 solid wide receivers, at least for the next year, that probably keep me in contending right now. And then you can spend the rest of that capital elsewhere and let's try to go get some solid running backs. Like this is only a start 9 league. So obviously it's going to be, a little shallow, but that's why I have no problem moving a bunch of these picks. So honestly, man, sorry, like I'm just going to kind of speed this up because this is exactly like what I would just be telling you to do, but that's where you need to focus. Like I think, you've got ETN, that's fine. That's going to be your RB2. The 103 is on the table for you, but you're probably going to have a chance to bring a solid wide receiver in there. So I'd probably take one of the solid wide receivers, the 103, whether that be Tyson or Lemon, whichever one you land on. I mean, if by some chance Tate goes in the top 8 picks of the NFL draft and you want to go there, excuse me, that would be totally fine too. But let's take a stud receiver here because you don't have one. Like then you can get a young stud. Let's shop Worthy with a second and a third and a fourth and whatever you got to add to him. Let's see if we can go get anybody in that middle range of like a Lad McConkey. Like I would love to be buying Tet right now. I don't know what the Tet owner is going to run you up price wise for him, but like, does Jaden Reed the 112 in 2 seconds get me Teteroa McMillan? I would do that. I'd do that tomorrow, like, and be unfazed by it. You have a ton of capital to play with. And then you have the 103. We go Terry McLaurin, Teteroa McMillan, the 103. Go buy Devontae Adams for a second and a third, or go buy Michael Pittman for a second and a fourth. That's fine. That puts you 4 deep. I'm totally fine rolling with that. At that point, like, can I take a few more of these seconds and Xavier Worthy and see if I could go buy again one of those running backs in the middle there? Ken Walker, Cam Scadaboo, Judkins, Kyron Williams, Saquon Barkley, like DeAndre Swift, like Josh Jacobs, any of those guys, I would throw them in there right next to them. Then you're probably going to flex one of these tight ends. I mean, the other thing we haven't even talked about is it's only a start 9 and there's no tight end premium. is it not smart this offseason potentially to just shop Loveland with all the crazy hype he's getting? You roll with Bowers and like you need a second quarterback. Like, does a package of Colston Loveland and a few picks get me a haul from a rebuilder, of like, a bunch of contending pieces they don't want, like Jared Goff, Saquon Barkley, a 28 first, and you can throw in something in there on your side. That's kind of the moves I'm looking at making here, right? Is just like give me some contending pieces on here, and you're totally fine because I think you can do that and not ship your 27 first. And I just love how many of these seconds and thirds and fourths you have. Quite frankly, as you know, man, in a start 9, those are just completely and utterly irrelevant. You probably heard what I was saying about the Braylon Allen thing out there. Like, the second Breece Hall goes and Braylon Allen even looks like he's going to have a path to a starting window, yeah, give me Braylon Allen. Throw on a third. Let somebody else assume the risk for it and just, yeah, go. Go for somebody that's going to score you points, So I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. Do you have any questions based off that, or any specific things that you're like, yeah, that doesn't make sense? Or does that give you some good direction here? And then, like I said, I can hopefully help you in the trade center here. If you're about to send offers, just tag me and say, hey, is this a good fit? But I hope I've pointed you in the right direction of what to do here. I think we just need one solid wide receiver to go with Terry. You're going to draft one at the 103. Rest of the capital goes into a top tier running back. Really, I mean, you need a stud guy to place next to Etienne, but especially if I can get Barkley for the 112, I've already solved it. Go buy DeAndre Swift for a second and a third. Go buy Devontae Adams for a second and a third. Go buy, like I was saying, a bunch of these veterans, Michael Pittman for a second, and suddenly you're 3 deep at every position, 4 deep at every position, and you're kind of ready to roll into next season.
No, yeah, that all makes a ton of sense. That was the main thing I really wanted to ask about, is because I had Loveland and Bowers. I feel like with how high people are on Loveland, like it's got to be, the window's got to be you to try and maybe sway him somewhere else, see what I can do, and keep Allen and Bowers as like 2 top tier guys in their positions respectfully.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Okay, well, I hope that got you started there, and I'll keep it rolling here. And Mikey, you let me know who's up next, and we'll get somebody on stage here. Thanks so much for the support, bro. And like I said, I'll be here next weekend for you if you need to bounce anything else off me.
All right, appreciate it.
Of course. All right, folks, for the people watching on YouTube out there, if you haven't already figured out what we're doing here, we're doing live breakdowns of team rosters for your Dynasty teams. If you're looking to have this done for yourself and join the awesome Price Check community we got going on, it's all in the Discord, which is totally free. There's a link in the description of this stream that you can click to join, or you can also find that join button on my website, www.dynastypricecheck.com, or on any of my other YouTube videos. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel here. We got a lot of awesome stuff this offseason, not just videos, but these streams coming at you. I am going to run this every single Sunday for 2 full hours. I'll be breaking down your guys' Dynasty teams just like I'm doing right now. And totally for free, just to try to help the community out. And I really appreciate all the support and everything you guys have been giving me as I'm starting off and growing here. So thank you so much. Additionally, like I was saying, we are breaking in some really cool new tools on the Dynasty Price Check website that are about to be live here. One of which you are watching me use, built by our own moderator, MJ Walsh, the best in the business. He has created an incredible Dynasty Daddy style tool for us so that we can break down your rosters. You can look at all your leagues, other people's leagues. In fact, we have a ton more tools coming to the website as far as proprietary player rankings for the Dynasty Price Check team, myself and my moderators, that you guys can go through our aggregate rankings. We're working on a bunch of awesome visuals for you. We're going to have like tags on all the players that have buys and sells and different opportunities each offseason for what you can do with them. And that's all going to appear on this Dynasty Decoder that I'm using right now in beta testing for you guys. So this is not the final version. It's going to look even better. I just wanted to give it a swing myself here and use them for the roster reviews today. And that is going to be fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and pull the next guy up here. and it's going to be Strebs, I believe. So Strebs, why don't you request to come up on stage, and I'll let you in. Guys, I will give you the heads up. I am living in Amsterdam now. It's already 9:40 p.m. here, and obviously a work night. So I'm gonna run about 20 to 30 more minutes here, and then that'll hit me a little over the 2-hour mark, and then I'll call it for this week. But like I said, every week we're gonna do this. So if you don't make it this week, there will absolutely be another chance for you. Don't think this is your only swing. And yeah, can you join via phone? Not seeing an option. You should be able to join via the phone. I'm pretty sure there shouldn't be an issue. But let's see. Oh, yep, I see you. All right, you're gonna hop on in. I'm gonna try to roll through some of these guys, so hopefully I can get to the most amount of people here. But again, like I said, if I by some chance don't get to you today, you will have another chance. So, all right, Strebs, what's up, man? I see you in here. Let me know your sleeper username, and we'll dive right in for you, bro.
Hey man, how you doing? Can you
Awesome.
hear me good?
Yeah, you sound great, bro.
My username will be just Strauss with 2 S's at the back.
Lovely, making it easy on me.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. And then what league are we gonna dive into here?
It'll be
the men's league, huh?
Yep.
Perfect.
Should just be one.
Yeah, you made my life real easy today. All right, looks like a 10-man league.
Yep.
Sorry, it looks like a 10-man league. My girlfriend's killing me over here. Okay. It looks like a 10-man league. What the Penix is your team, yeah?
No, so my team will be the Lamb of God.
The Lamb of God. Oh, you got Mr. Strebs. Is your brother or your dad?
Yeah. Cousin.
Cousin, nice. Right on, man. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, it looks like a 10-man league. Outside of that, give me some of the specs here, like how many players we start in. Is it a super flex, tight end premium? You've probably been listening to what I've been asking.
All right,
so you know the drill.
Yeah, for sure. So it's super flex with 2 extra flex options. We also have IDP, which we don't need to talk about whatsoever.
Okay.
And then it is tight end premium.
Okay. And
So, yep.
sorry. Give me the super flex, yes or no? I would totally missed you there.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
And then
super flex,
start.
and then 2 extra flex options.
Okay, so it's a start.
Start 1, 2,
Start
3,
9,
4, 5,
right?
6, 7. Yes.
Okay. Well, first off, I gotta just give you a shout because I know it's IDP. You got potentially one of the best linebackers in the league, and what I think should have been the defensive player of the year in Nick Imanwari. So I think love the. In case you don't already know this about me, I'm born and raised in Seattle, Washington. So big Seahawks fan.
There you go.
That defense
Congrats
is
on your team winning
insane.
the bowl.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I mean, largely on the back of that defense. So probably a good fit for this build here. But give me the context too. It looks like you don't have a first this year, but you look like a very strong contender here. In fact, so much of a contender, I don't even know if I got a lot for you right out the gate here. But
All right. So
it looks good.
My scenario is I won the chip 2 years ago. We're 4 years in.
Okay.
Last year I came in third. I came up short. I gave up a lot of my capital for some vets like Kittle. I think I gave up 4 second rounders. So I gave up a lot of my capital for aging vets.
Okay.
I'm in a position right now where my team's still pretty good, but there's still some really good juggernaut teams out there as well. I have an offer on the table right now.
Yeah.
For the 103, the 204, and 2 firsts next year. I'm sending away Adams, McCaffrey, and Collins. He has yet to accept or decline it, but that's just what I have on the table right now.
Okay. Well, first things first. If you do that deal, you're probably taking yourself out of contention, and you probably know that.
Okay.
I mean, there's a way you retool around it, right? Like the issue is you'd probably kind of just have to turn around and either ship Luther Burden, right, and take the offseason hype.
About.
Yeah, and take the offseason hype and throw those seconds that you're gonna get, right, or whatever, a second and a third and whatnot on top of him, and try to replace it with another solid running back, right? Because like Robinson and Henry will probably be your starters, right? Luckily, it's a star 9, so you'll probably be okay with that. But you probably want to be 3 deep, right? So you probably need to then go take Burden and that second and third and go try to buy Cam Scat, right? Or Ken Walker or Jonathan Taylor, like someone like that, right? So it's not a bad move, I would say, but it doesn't like. I think it kind of is just a reroll for you, if that makes sense, right? Like, I mean, you're going to get that capital, which is nice, and I love having 227 firsts, but you're probably going to end up spending a decent amount of it.
And that's
to
what I'm
replace
nervous
these guys.
about.
Yeah. Well, you're nervous about not having picks,
I'm
which
nervous about my capital.
Yeah, which I get, but I would also say, man, and hear me now, I think this is the hard part, is like, quite frankly, bro, you've built the Dynasty team people dream of, right? And I think, when we talk about Dynasty, and you've probably heard me say it before, whether it's in videos or on stream or whatever, and maybe if not, or you're new to the channel, totally fine too. Sorry, I don't want to talk like everyone knows everything about me here. I chatter a lot, so it's easy to pick it up, but like Dynasty's played in 2 to 3 year windows. Like I would think if you're planning too far beyond that, you're just doing it wrong. And quite frankly, there's nothing that's showing me today that any of your wide receivers are not going to be extremely relevant for the next 4 years, right? So that window is open. You don't need to draft a wide receiver in the next 4 years, at least not in a 10-team format, right? Like these are the cream of the crop here. So know when you're getting at the, you have your own first here. You have your own first here, so or like you would have your own first, right? In theory, moving forward, that's why you've been selling them. Is no one you're going to get at the 110 or the 18 or later on a team like this is going to start for you unless you're the world's best drafter. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to beat out St. Brown or CeeDee Lamb. It's not going to happen. So I think, or Devontae Adams for that matter, right? So I think no matter what, I'm not too worried about that. Now, to the side of like, okay, Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey, that's where I'm a little bit more nervous. It's just that you don't have any young running backs like that are your RB2s. But then we have Bijan Robinson. So I'm really not too worried because next to Bijan, you could probably still get lucky enough to win the league with the Etienne or a DeAndre Swift with that receiving core and tight end if everyone just stays healthy. I think probably what hurt you this year was Bowers got hurt, right? And Lamb got hurt, and Collins underperformed for the first half of the year. So
and I panic sold Burrow as soon as that injury happened for Dak, and then I was panicking about my QB value because I down-tiered so much.
Sure. Yeah, and I could see that too, right? But even your quarterback room now, Caleb and Mahomes, you're good. So look, I'm not going to spend a crazy amount of time on this one just because I don't want to mess with you. I think part of Dynasty sometimes is just you run it back. You got unlucky, right? And you did.
So you truly believe I should just
I would
and see what happens?
Yeah. Like here's what I tell you. I think you have 2 options here. You have your 2 options are you run it back as is, and I have no issue with it. I have 0 issue with it, right? Like the only thing I would maybe even consider is, like I was saying, like if Burden gets hyped into oblivion this offseason, then can I go get, Cam Scat plus for Burden in a second and a third? Like I would do that, right? Now you've got a young running back like to place next to Bijan. Your wide receivers are totally fine, like I said, for the next 4 years. So you're like, oh, I don't have any young, 22-year-old wide receivers. Well, what, 26, 25, and 27 aren't good enough for you? Like, I'm not tripping, right? And you got that 28 first if you want to replenish, right? Or at any given point, you got to remember too, man, things start not going your way again, tear off Lamb and go down to a Zay Flowers and get 2 firsts, right? And like, it's not that bad of a move, right? Or AJ Brown, right? Like go Lamb to AJ Brown and get 227 firsts. Like that would happen, especially in a league like this. So like you always have the chance to print liquidity, I think is what I need you to keep in mind is like you have good players, but your good players are just rentals, like nothing says that Nico Collins is going to retire on your roster, So I think that's like kind of where I'm at with the team. That's option number 1, run it back and do nothing. Option number 2 is tear off McCaffrey, because you got a perfectly healthy season out of him, and there's, a strong possibility that doesn't happen next year. So, tearing off probably looks like can I get one of those guys in the middle that I was talking about plus? Can I get Ken Walker, Scadaboo, Judkins, Barkley plus, right? And the plus would probably be, someone in the range of like a Devonta Smith, a T. Higgins, a 27 first, like I'd probably take the pick, personally, just because of the nature of your team, right? And it gives you more flexibility, but that would be your second option, right? And if that's the option you decide to go, I don't hate it. I think for the nature of your team, Derrick Henry's going to die on your team, which I think is great. Like, he might play 2 more years. We don't even know. So you're at least getting him next year. I think maybe the only other thing you could do here, which, is whatever, is you don't really need George Kittle on this team, although it's a sell low to sell him right now. So I think the positive is you could probably flip George Kittle midseason next year, and maybe even, sweeten the pot. George Kittle with a pick, or George Kittle with a Jaden Reed if he looks good, or Tyreek Hill if by some chance he signs with the Chiefs or something and looks like he's playing, and try to, print yourself a young swing at running back, maybe like a Jonah Coleman or something, right? Like someone drafts him and he gets off to a slow start. Well, there you go. Now you're going to replenish the running back room that way, right? So, but personally, man, I think, like, again, and this isn't to shortchange you at all, I just don't want to be messing with a good thing. I think you run this team back, and you probably have a chance to win it. You've done the right moves. Yeah,
which I appreciate hearing. My only worry is those aging assets. Diminishing in value, and then I'm kind of just left with my studs with no real capital for the next 2 years. Like imagine if Henry gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then McCaffrey gets hurt, so then I'm out of a RB2, and their value plummets, and then like say like Adams gets hurt again or something, like I have all these assets that like I don't want to be in the same position that I was in last year.
Totally.
That's my worry. I don't think it takes me out of the race immediately by any means.
No,
that's
it
like worst
doesn't.
case scenario.
It doesn't, but again, like I was kind of saying, like that's when we kind of get modular of like, if you don't want to continue to move your 28 first and 29 first and whatever, which again, like I'm not saying you should, but those later firsts are, probably like on the table, right? Like if you got to take your 28 first and, Rico Dowdle, if he's in a touch split next year or doing something for the Broncos, which he might be, depending on if they bring back Dobbins or he goes to Houston or something and he's the workhorse and Woody's taking passes on third down, right? Like if you got to pair one of those two with a 28 first to go buy, Judkins or Etienne, right, who's about to sign a 3-year deal or something, like you're probably fine. You're probably fine because that's going to be the 108 to 110 anyway. And no one you get in that range is going to give you the level of upside that, any of the proven production that you're getting is. And if your proven production has a 2-3 year window on it, well, then those picks are going to replenish. That's the beauty of Dynasty. You'll have a 20-30 pick, like to do when Etienne's out of the league. So I think like that's kind of the mindset. I think the only other thing like I was talking about, right, is like, if all goes to shit, right, and you're screwed and, McCaffrey goes down and whatever, and you're stuck holding the bag, it's unfortunate. But like, again, like, let's just take a look at it. Cause like, this is what I think people like get so hung up on. Like AJ Brown, who I was talking about before, right? He's wide receiver 11 this year. He scored 220 fantasy points. Okay. I think you guys probably already heard me say at the beginning of this stream, which I'll repeat for the people that didn't hear, is the lowest scoring wide receiver season that we've had in over half a decade for fantasy football, right? So like, assuming that trend continues, these points are going to stay at like around the 220, but assuming it doesn't, and, maybe the league starts to pass a little bit more, which is very potentially a thing. Maybe we get back to wide receiver 11 to 15 looking like 240 points instead of 220, right? But you go to CeeDee Lamb here, and yeah, you're going to have a 100-point spread for sure, but not really, because last year CeeDee Lamb was, when he played 15 games, was wide receiver 8 in 2024, and he scored 263 fantasy points. That's a 43-point swing. So if, and I'm looking at a startup board right now where A.J. Brown went at the 6-12, CeeDee Lamb went at the 2-2. You don't think that you can get 2 firsts damn near worth of value in between those 2 picks? I mean, in a startup, you'd have to. I'm not moving from the 2nd to the 6th without minimum 2 firsts, probably 3. So again, I'm not saying it happens in every league, but what you would do is, yeah, if McCaffrey gets hurt, go tier down and you go CeeDee Lamb to A.J. Brown. You've dropped 40 fantasy points. You get 2 firsts kickback throw a third on top of CD. You get AJ and 2 firsts. Now you take one of those firsts and you go shopping, right? Because you take Rico Dowdle in a first and go buy Ken Walker, and suddenly it didn't end up being that bad for you, because Ken Walker's going to score you 250 points himself, and that's going to make up for the 40 points you lost of CD Lamb, and you got an extra first now to use on the open market next year, right? So I think it's like, this is where we got to kind of be smart and understand that, yeah, there's definitely a tier break in wide receivers. I'm not telling you A.J. Brown and CeeDee Lamb are the same player and the same fantasy production. They're not. But if by some chance George Pickens gets extended long-term there, or even they franchise tag him, those guys could easily be a 40-point spread, maybe even less. So I think we got to just, keep all our options open, if that helps.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you coming on. If it's any consolation, I'm jealous of your team. It's great. It's phenomenal.
No, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate you helping me out, even just like in this, because I ain't got no one else to talk to. So I just appreciate hearing some sort of opinion on what to do next.
Of course, man. That's what we're here for. We're here all off season, so happy to have you in the Discord, and we'll keep it rolling, man.
All right, thanks, man.
Of course. All right, guys. I probably got room for 2 more. I'm gonna whip through them quick. So, who's up next, Mikey? And sorry, guys, I will try to talk a little faster, but obviously it is getting a little late here. Friendly reminder: if you're watching over on YouTube, the best way to get your Dynasty team reviewed by me and my awesome community and my great moderators is in the Discord. Totally free to join. Just click the link in the description of this stream or any of my YouTube videos, or go to www.dynastypricecheck.com. That's where you'll find all these other awesome tools as well, which we are iterating on, and after the beta testing is done here, are going to go live on the site probably in the next couple days. So we've got Killer up next. Killer, I'm going to pull you on up here, man, and let's get after it. How are you, bro?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Lovely, man. All right, give me that Sleeper username, and we'll dive right in.
It's the same as my Discord, Killer PF.
Great. Making my life easy. Killer PF. All right, and what league are we looking at today?
Defunct Knights of Dynasty, I think that's what it's called.
I see it right here.
Yeah, that's the league that I'm a little bit... I'm not sure what direction I'm going in, so that's where I'm kind of middle of the pack right now.
Awesome.
It's a 12 team, start 12, so pretty deep. Start 2 tight end, no tight end premium, super flex.
Okay.
And I'm Gibbs it to me.
I just texted you something. Okay, so sorry. So Gibbs to me, you said 12 by 12. What was the tight end premium on it again?
No tight end premium.
No tight end premium, and it is a super flex, yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then these 26 picks, where are we looking at?
I'm the 106 and the 109.
106, 109. Okay, great. And then, yeah, anything currently on the table for you, like any trades, or you're kind of just taking clean slate in the offseason here?
Yeah, I haven't been as active as I want to be yet, so I don't have any trades on the table.
Cool.
But I've been looking at a few things, but maybe I'll run them by you real quick.
Yeah, please.
At some point.
Okay, no. Go.
Right, go ahead.
No, you start.
Yeah, so I was the 7th place, same record as the person who got 6th seed, and I just lost off points 4.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had something to do real quick.
No, you're good.
And it's a league median league, so
cool.
we were both 16 and 10. I just lost off of max points 4, and so it was kind of a crappy season for me because I have Lamar and Joe Burrow, and they were injured all season.
Yep.
But so I was thinking, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know exactly what direction to go, but I was thinking either like a down tier from QB maybe, or a just buy ancillary pieces. But I'm not sure what you think.
Yep. Okay. Well, here's your 2 options, and I liked that was where you started, because that was where I was going to start. Your 2 options are: this is the team that's stuck in the middle pretty hard, as I'm sure you get, and unfortunately, the picks you have aren't high enough up that I think you're going to bring in like a for sure genuine difference maker. So like one, I think your option number 1 is, yep, we tear off Joe Burrow. We bring in Jared Goff plus, probably a suitable receiver. Like I would ideally like to get Jared Goff and Tedero McMillan, or someone in that range. And now we've got a wide receiver too, and we've got a quarterback that's going to score me relatively similar points without the name value. And Alec Pierce goes somewhere and signs somewhere, and we take Parker Washington in the second because he looked actually kind of decent at the end of this year. And you go get Devontae Adams and DeAndre Swift. Maybe you throw a third on top of that, on your side, a third and a fourth. And now suddenly here we are, and we've got some contending pieces. And then, like I said, you got these firsts. They're expendable. We're going to put them all towards running backs. Like, can I put the two together and go get me a stud? Or really, can I go one for one and go buy, Ken Walker with one and Cam Scatabo with that in my 27 second, because you've got two of them or whatever, or a 27 second and third, and you just send that for the whole thing. And now we're rolling, right? And I just retooled the whole team in a month or less, right? And obviously those moves out there, sorry if you missed them, they're this live will be on YouTube, so you can just go rewatch it and find them. But like, that's option number one, right? Option number two is this team is stuck in the middle, and it's too stuck in the middle, and you think that there's juggernauts in this league. I haven't looked through all the teams yet, but if you're willing to tell me that, yeah, there's a bunch of really, really hard teams to compete with, then I would tell you to tear it down. And I'd tell you to really explore, because if you said it's a 12 by 12, yeah?
Yeah,
it's pretty deep. I mean, you're going to need a lot of pieces here. So it's not just going to be as easy as we're going to tear off a couple guys. You're going to have to fill some spots, right? And I know, Parker Washington in a format like this is probably a starter each week. I like that you got Devin Neal hanging down there. Hopefully he does something down the line, but it's not like I'm looking at a bench of like, oh, there's a Wan'Dale Robinson and a Cortland Sutton and a Michael Pittman and Troy Franklin sitting there and, whatever. Like, this is a very shallow team. So like I said, I mean, we're either pulling off a couple of very savvy teardowns here, including potentially a Jahmyr Gibbs teardown, or you're packing up shop here, and you're gonna shop Burrow, and you're gonna probably shop Gibbs, and you're gonna shop Wilson and Pierce when he signs a deal, and Parker Washington unequivocally, and Rashid Shaheed when he signs a free agent deal with Seattle this offseason, and you're just gonna take as much liquidity as you can, punt this 1 year, and probably gonna tear off Lamar too, and just rework the whole team and try to pull off what I was kind of explaining earlier, which luckily I was able to pull off in one of my other leagues, which is a 1-season retool, which is just get enough decent pieces coming back to you with a ton of liquidity that next offseason they've matured into a little bit better, and then all the liquidity is on the table to be spent, and you go all the way in next year. You tell me, because you know your league economy better, and even the other contenders in this league, like which one is going to be a more effective strategy.
I think the first strategy of buying like a Kenneth Walker type and using my picks to do that is probably the best strategy. But
okay.
I guess my question for you then is, should I wait for the rookie draft, or should I just try and send offers now and get a feel for it?
Yeah, so that's going to be the important question. And like, this is what I'll really tell you, because I'm going to try to squeeze one more in here in my last 6 minutes. But here's what I'll tell you. I would say if you are going to go that route, it needs to be now, especially with the running backs, because when Walker signs, his value is going to go up. When Etienne signs, his value is going to go up. So two of those potential pieces that you would get right there, I like buying, and I like buying for the prices they're at now. Like, same thing with even DeAndre Swift, right after the season is when these kind of journeyman running back that, have some uncertainty, even a Derrick Henry out there, this is when points are going to be the cheapest, because we're entering rookie draft season, hype season, the season just ended. No one's thinking about putting a starting lineup together. Everyone's thinking about how excited they are about Jaden Higgins, and Alec Pierce and, all these guys, right? Guys that are, what ifs. So the question is what does Derrick Henry cost in this league? Because if Derrick Henry costs, Devin Neal and a third and a fourth, do it right now.
Right.
And let's place him next to Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm feeling a hell of a lot better, because now I don't need to spend big, and I could probably bring in a third running back like a Swift and feel totally fine about it. right? And then we
Got
do
it.
the Burrow thing that I said. You tear off Burrow and you bring in, Jared Goff and Tet, and now we got Garrett Wilson and Tet there. And then you take Parker Washington and one of those future seconds, like I said, and you go bring in, Michael Pittman and another running back that will give you some production, right? And that's kind of like J.K. Dobbins, right? And I know it sounds funny,
Yeah,
but
there's a
yeah.
thank you, sorry.
No, you're
There's
good.
a team that is a fake, not a pretender,
Mhm.
and he has Rico Dowdle and Christian Watson, and I'm thinking about maybe like trying to convince him that he's not going to be able to compete this year. He was he was after me, the 8th seed, so I was thinking
Okay.
about maybe targeting them.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, to be completely frank, like those aren't my favorite players. I think Dowdle's got some upside and definitely has some risk to him, but he definitely has some upside.
Right.
Christian Watson is very boom bust, but in a start 12 format, the boom bust guys have absolute roles because if you get a 26-point week out of them, that's fantastic in your 4th flex spot, right? So I think that's options for you. Yeah, I would definitely explore it, but I'm looking at this like Team Crispy guy. He might be like one of those trade partners that like I wouldn't even be married to the has to be a receiver kickback because you could always shop receiver later, right? Like I see he's got Josh Allen and Jared Goff. Like, what if you give him Joe Burrow and I see Cam Scatterbo? Like, give me
Goff and Scott.
Yeah, give me Goff and Scat, and I mean start with it. See if you throw a second and a third and can get one of these 27 firsts kickbacked. And like,
Got you.
I would love that deal, right? And if that goes through right away, you're great. If the pick swaps too much, then you slowly work it down, and you got me in the trade center, right? So tag me, let me know, and we'll see if we put it together. But I think Crispy's probably your best place to start, and then we'll solve receiver as we go along.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Of course, man. Appreciate you coming through. All right, guys, I'm going to try to crank one more in 5 minutes or less and just give you a little blueprint here, and then I've got to hop off. It is nice and late, so who is my last? And I'll give you a little blueprint, and whatever I don't get to this week, you guys are coming right back next week. What do I got, Mikey? It's Yes You Suck. Nice. All right, Yes You Suck. Request me up to come up on stage, man, and you are up. He's gone. Never mind. All right. Wait, I still see him in the audience. Is he here? No? Maybe he's gone. Yes, you suck. Are you coming up here? Yeah. All right. If he's not coming up, who wants to go next? Killer just went. Swaggy wants to go. Swaggy, you are you don't need me, man. You're a straight killer out here. You are the killer PF. Andrew or Slade? Did either of you guys want to go? Slade, you wanted to go? Or Andrew? Whichever one. I can't remember. But somebody request me and I'll gas you. You boys got it. Oh, Yes You Suck. You're here. All right, bro. Request to come up on stage. I'll get you. He's here. He's here. All right. We'll get you up. Yeah. Request to come up on stage, man. I'll throw you on up here. How do I request? I think I'm not sure because I run the event. Mikey, do you know? Hit the hand button. There you go. Hand button. Hand symbol in the top right. Rachel. Hi. Last one. Okay. Last one. Okay. All right. Where are we at? All good? Someone else? Okay. All right. Yes, you suck. We'll work on you next week. All right, man. You cleaning your car? All right. No worries, bro. All right. Either Andrew or Slade, it's your time to shine. You guys can duke it out amongst yourselves. Sorry, I can't squeeze everybody today. Whoever is first to request. All right. It's You're not seeing the hand. Uh-oh. Oh, all right. Andrew, you're up then. I'm sorry. Slade, we'll get to you next week, pal. I appreciate you coming through. All right, Andrew. You should be coming up. I accepted it. Oh, there he is. All right, Andrew. What's good, my man?
Good. I'm pretty good.
Hell yeah. All right, hit me with that sleeper username.
It's ITTZ Andrew with a capital A.
Cool. It's Andrew. All right. I'm guessing we're going the Mahomos here.
Yep.
All right, right on, man. 10-team league, it looks like. Give me the rest of the specs. What are my starters? Tight end premium, super flex.
It's start 8, no super flex, no tight end premium. So it's pretty basic.
Damn. Okay, and start 8, 10-team league. This has got to be a super shallow league then, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Bo Nix, Martin Hampton, Brace Hall, Ken Walker, Drake London, Tet, Rashi Rice, Trey McBride. I got Cam Scott on the bench. I like that. Quarterback room's good. Terry McLaurin, Michael Pittman. All right. I don't have a lot of changes for you. I mean, obviously it's a super shallow league. So I'm assuming there's got to be some crazy juggernauts in this league. That's why probably this team's not an all-out favorite.
The double champ one is pretty stacked. So
that's fair. It looks like he's double champ. Yeah, Puka Jamar, Chris Olave, Chris McCaffrey, Devon Achane. Yeah, I mean, he's stacked, and he has all his picks, so good for him. Yeah, I mean, man, it's so hard in these super shallow leagues because, quite frankly, I don't want to do too much on this team because it's loaded. But I really think, obviously, the only area I'm going to point you to, luckily this is a somewhat simple one to end on, is one, I mean, Rashee Rice is the name. You know, you've heard me talk about him plenty today, so I'm probably telling you to sell him. But does this league want nothing to do with him? Where are we at on that market? Have you tried?
I haven't tried yet. I know in terms of first round picks, they don't like selling them at all.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't really need picks. I like, you're a contender. I just want a player.
I would say probably I was gonna see if the guy with Amon-Ra would want to do that. That'd be the Cameron guy. Otherwise, I don't know if like Nico Collins is a tier up or anything, because he the owner of him is pretty easy to trade with, which is Donut Lord. But
look, I'd start this way. If by any chance in God you can get from Rashee Rice to Amon-Ra, you're doing it. And I would say you do Rashee Rice, DK Metcalf, and both those, or all three of those thirds and the fourth. Just stack that side so it looks like a keep trade, cut trade, and just throw it at him. If by any chance he will do that, I think
would
that
you put
is
in the 27 first at all?
Yeah. No, I was going to tell you that first is absolutely on the table as far as just getting a deal done. If it's Rice in the 27 first, yeah, I'd do it tomorrow. And if you got to add those thirds, I'm still doing it. The thirds and fourths mean nothing to me in a format like this, personally. And quite frankly, like, you already know this, but Terry's your 4 and Michael Pittman's your emergency 5. I have no issue with it. You've got 4 deep at running back already. Like, you're going to be totally fine there. You got Trey McBride, who's a stud. You're totally fine there. And your quarterback room is good. So, yeah, like I said, pretty easy one to end with here. It's Rashee Rice in that first and whatever else you got to throw to get St. Brown if he'll do it. And if not, then we're just walking the line. Like, it's the same thing for JSN, CeeDee Lamb. Obviously the 2-time champ probably isn't moving any of his players. But it's just kind of, like I said, walk the line. Like, that's probably it. I mean, your only other one was, you could explore Nico Collins. It's not really my favorite thing right now. I would say your only other option is, it's a quote tier down, but I have zero problem doing it, is like, if I can go from Rashee Rice to AJ Brown and get anything kicked back to me on top, like if that's a pick, if that's a couple picks, if that's, a player, like, that has some liquidity that I can now move on the open market, or I can like tier up at another position. Like I see this guy has James Cook, right? So like, what if you did Rashee Rice and God, I mean, you don't even have a bad running back to tier up from, really. I mean, I actually wouldn't even do that. So I wouldn't even say it, but Rashee Rice and DK Metcalf and in a first, and see if you can get AJ Brown, James Cook, and a second, like, or a couple seconds. Like I would do that too. I don't really care too much, but I would say that's probably where you start. But quite frankly, man, like all sights on Amon-Ra here. I think that's your move. Yeah. Especially since this guy's he's not really a contender. I mean, his team comparatively to the others I've even scrolled through so far. I know he's got Barkley and stuff, but that's just not enough.
I gotta relook at it, but I think he has the 3rd pick of this year's draft, so that's how bad his team was.
Nope, that's what I got for you. And outside of that, man, like I was saying, like in such a shallow format, I don't trip over any of these picks. You've got a young enough team. Like I'm looking at these running backs. You don't need to draft a running back in the next 4 years. You know.
Yeah, I traded my 105 this year for Omari Hampton straight up, and then
that's a steal.
The Ben guy traded me Drake London for Loveland, 2nd, and Quinshawn Johnson.
That's crazy.
And a non-tight end premium, so.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, like I said, man, like this seems like a steal, but in my book, and you probably already know this, like I would just keep it really simple. And this is the last thing I'll say for you is like, you don't need to draft a running back or a wide receiver in the next 3 years. So that 27 first, that 28 first, they're all on the table. If people somehow value first like crazy in this league, like you just said, you got Martin Hampton for the 105, that's highway fucking robbery. Like we're going out there again and like, let's just send a first and go get me and send 2 firsts and go get CeeDee Lamb, you know, like I don't care. Yeah. All right. You got it, man. Good luck with everything. You got a good team. I hope you swing and win next year. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for me today. I appreciate you guys coming through and supporting the channel as always. For those of you that are in the live right now and you're asking, hey, how do I send in my Dynasty lineup? How do we get in a live session like this? How do I request all this stuff? Your best way to do this and the only way to do this is in my awesome Discord community. It's totally free. I call people up on stage during the live events, just like this one. So if you are watching, go ahead and click the link in the description of this stream to join the Discord for free, or go to any of my videos. You can click the link on those videos, or go to my website, www.dynastypricecheck.com, and click the join free Discord button. I will be more than happy to help you guys. We are going to be doing this every single Sunday, so of the entire offseason, totally for free. I appreciate you guys. This is a thank you for all the support and awesome engagement on the channel. And shout out to MJ Walsh again, my awesome moderator in the Discord who helped me build all the website stuff that you're seeing here, this awesome decoder function, and so much more that's coming to dynastypricecheck.com. And you guys are going to be able to see that all through in the next week or two at the very latest. We've got some really cool features coming there, and it's all going to be free for you guys to use and engage with. We are starting a really, really cool side of Dynasty here, and hopefully adding some great tools and some awesome community for you guys to engage with. Again, if you came through today, thank you so much for sharing your teams and be willing to hop on a stream with me. We greatly appreciate it over here. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one for my next video and next week's live stream. But make sure you come on into the Discord so that you don't miss it. And the announcements will be there. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and I will see you soon.